punches. We knew they were going to have to play without Mark Scheifele. It looks like. We'll wait and see. But Josh Morrissey left the game with about 10 minutes gone in the first period. And that hit by Oscar Sundqvist in around behind the Winnipeg net really seemed to leave Morrissey in a state of disarray.
Yeah, it was. He took that hard hit. He had just moved the puck, and it's exactly what a forward's supposed to do on any defenseman. But he knows that Josh Morrissey's on the ice, and that's a key member of this Winnipeg Jets team. So he's been talked about a lot this series. It's just a simple, hard forecheck, finishing your check, but it really did sting Josh Morrissey. He missed a shift. Then he came out, and then after that goal that he was on for the second goal, he didn't return after that.
Yeah, and it really did seem to also add to the Winnipeg Jets playing with a pretty tight grip. Always a Captain Obvious moment, it seems, but the Jets can't give up that third goal. If they do, the crowd's already out of it. They need a goal desperately to get this sold-out crowd back into the game.
Yeah, they can't give up any more goals. They need to get that next goal for sure to make it a 2-on-1 game, and then all of a sudden now St. Louis starts to think, oh, we're in a hockey game all of a sudden. They are in control of it. They got to do it quick and early.
Okay, Coach, we'll talk to you in the second intermission. Christian O'Mell back off the not the mean street, the fun street in Winnipeg. He'll join us for a scoreboard update next. St. Louis leading Game 7, 2-0 after 20 minutes on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
680 CJOB is your place to turn for the information you need. And we get it all started first thing in the morning with The Start. 4 hours of fresh outlooks, engaging conversation, information as you need it, and plenty of fun along the way. Catch The Start 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Blake Legault here from Wilfs Eli Ford. Wilfs has been your independent, locally owned Ford dealership for 44 years. That's 44 years of loyal customers. And thank you for your dedication. We have amazing loyalty offers on Edge and F-150s. But it doesn't stop there. We also have 0% financing on most lines. Do you want to know why customers keep coming back to Wilfs Eli Ford? Come in for a visit. Once you experience our pressure-free buying experience, I'm sure you'll keep coming back too. See wilfseliford.ca for details.
You know what goes well with pizza from Santa Lucia Pizza. They've been the leaders in quality since 1971, and now they just keep winning award after award after award. So, sounds like they know a thing or two about making tasty pizza. How about this? When you're getting ready on game day, choose one of Santa Lucia Pizza's many specials or combos and find out why time and time again it's listed as Manitoba's favorite pizza.
Santa Lucia Pizza. It's all about the sauce.
Winnipeg Jets exclusive coverage continues on 680 CJOB and CJKR 97.5 FM Powered 97, the official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
Well, not an optimal start to the hockey game for the Winnipeg Jets, and they'll need something in that middle frame to get them going down 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. Jordan Kyrou with his third of the series, and then Matthew Joseph taking advantage of a Kyle Connor giveaway in the neutral zone with his first. The Blues with a 2-goal lead. We also have a scoreboard update coming your way. Christian O'Mell, the World Championship Tournament opened today in Vienna, Austria.
Yes, Team Canada taking down Austria 5-1, and they're going to get some reinforcements too. Sidney Crosby has confirmed he's going to play for Team Canada, and his Cole Harbour mate, Nathan McKinnon, it looks like he's probably coming as well. Not confirmed yet, but all signs point to that. Crosby said as much today, so they're going to be pretty good. This is going to be a pretty good Team Canada at the World Men's Hockey Championship. Love that Crosby's taken part in that, and as his career winds down. We have a Game 7 in the NBA, but not quite yet. Game 1 of Round 2 is actually starting before Round 1 is done. NBA does that sometimes. Pacers up 96-95 in Cleveland. Game 1 of that second round East series with about 9 minutes left in the fourth. Rockets hosting the Warriors in Game 7 of that series at 7:30. The winner faces the Timberwolves in Round 2, and the Blue Jays lose again. How about that? 5-4 at home to Cleveland today.
Dylan Sandberg and Neil Pionk both over 8 minutes for Winnipeg. Justin Falk just a touch under, and 8:49 Colton Parayko. So the two coaches are certainly going to what they have left for their top-notch defensemen. Winnipeg Jets down 2-0 when we go to the second period next on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Care to sample our delectable filet mignon?
Oh, no, thank you. Actually, I'd love to, but my dentures have another idea.
Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with Shine Dental. Their expert team helps secure loose dentures while improving your oral health, making eating more pleasurable and ensuring you smile confidently. Available at Shine Dental's 1104 Pembina Highway location.
Would you like to try?
Yes, I would.
Book today and find your shine at shinedental.ca.
For fun and reliability you can count on, your one-stop battery source is Canadian-owned Prairie Battery.
Prairie Battery is family-owned and operated, providing reliable and trusted battery power. When you want true power, come see Prairie Battery and the Prairie Battery team, or visit us at prairiebattery.ca.
When you need batteries for industrial, commercial, auto, recreational, marine, RVs, and more, it can only be prairiebattery.ca.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
And we welcome you back to the broadcast booth, which is for Namath Diamonds. For your diamond engagement ring, see Namath Diamonds, a family tradition of excellence in Southdale Square. 2-0 St. Louis after one, just about ready for the start of this second period. Long change for both teams. Jets are flying from our broadcast left to right. Second period opening face-off is for Cambria and Credit Union. Looking for a new mortgage? Get peace of mind and flexibility with the best of the new mortgages, the best of both worlds. Visit Cambrian.mb.ca. Winnipeg looking to get the next goal. No penalties so far in this hockey game. Dumped into where the corner on the far side. Pulled off the wall by Thomas. Back toward the line. Shot came in. Blocked by Lowry. Outletted near side here for Velarde. Velarde off the boards and out towards center ice. Fowler will take that. Back to the near side. Buchnevich with speed. He'll tap it down inside that Winnipeg end. Sandberg goes after it. Back in behind the net. Sandberg against Kyrou. Kyrou scored here tonight. Bounced it now for Shen. Shen back into where the corner. Buchnevich goes after that. Back out in front. And a quick shot by Kyrou's side of the slot. And that goes off of Hellebuck. Maybe off the side of the net as well. Sent around to the near side again. Broberg sways into where the corner. Put it back to the line. Backhanded by Falk. Falk's had a good series here. He leads the St. Louis Blues in minutes played. He wrapped it inside the zone, but Winnipeg comes back. Barging toward that net was Lowry. Threw a shot toward the net from a bad angle. Stopped by Bennington. Now out towards center ice. Neighbors on the far side for Joseph moving in, shooting. And that was actually Snuggerud off the rush, and he put that off the glove of Hellebuck. Bounced into where the corner on the near side. Pulled off the wall now by Barron. Barron out towards center ice. Barron swings inside the zone, going to wide on Leddy. Barron tried to get it out in front. Leddy knocked that away. Back in behind the net, Fleury, as he's up on the rush. Appleton after it again, into where the corner on the far side. Niederreiter arcs off the boards, got to the forehand, shoots. And it's gloved down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 18.5 remaining in this second period. 2-0 to St. Louis. Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you in part by Mid-Canada Fasteners, San Lucia Pizza, and Mr. Furnace.
And Scott O'Neill and the coaching staff has made a little bit of an adjustment on the forward lines. Adam Lowry now between Kyle Connor and Gabriel Velarde, which reunites Vlad Nemestikov between Nikolai Ehlers and Cole Perfetti. I like this idea when the three of them were playing together, especially that second half of the season. They created a lot. They're going to be relied on, I would imagine, heavily coming down the stretch in this game here.
Face off to the right of Bennington. Nemestikov will take the draw against Sundqvist. He'll win it back toward the line. Pionk up top. DeMello to the near side. Slipped toward the net by Ehlers. He tried to one-time the puck. Fanned on that. Out towards center ice. Joseph Bumped in along the boards, but got it in deep inside that Winnipeg end. Bolduc goes after it as well. He took a body check from DeMello. They both get up slowly and back in toward the play. Winnipeg will snap it inside that Blues end. After it goes, Ehlers trying to get it out in front with a backhand. That stop grabbed by Nemestikov back in toward the net. He got taken off the puck. He was slopped off his stick, and it's grabbed again. Nemestikov back out in front, and he went to the forehand and never got a shot away. Binnington was down and out. Cole Perfetti was down and out. The stick is out of the hands of Binnington. Puck sent all the way down. An icing call will be made against the Blues. And I'm not quite sure how Vladislav Nemestikov, as the puck found him off a ricochet back into the slot after he deked out Binnington, didn't find the back of the net. Oh, it slipped off the end of his stick, Mitchell.
Unbelievably bad luck for Vlad Nemestikov. Second time this series where he's cut around Jordan Binnington and basically had the wide open net. You think back to game 5 with Winnipeg up 4-2, and he put that one wide. This one, unfortunately for the Jets forward, goes off of his stick and away from his possession. A great opportunity for Winnipeg there.
Jets with a draw, back to the line. Fleury dances down along the boards. Shakes off a check, works his way into the corner. Now for Velarde. Velarde indirect back toward the line for Kyle Connor. Holding the line near side for Sandberg. Back for Connor on the far side. Connor into the slot. Now for Fleury. Saucer pass into the corner for Connor. Connor back in behind the net for Lowry. Back for Connor. Velarde there to help out. Velarde arcs off the boards. Put it back toward the line. Fleury walks the line. Fleury with the puck. Fleury makes a move. Fleury to the backhand. Rink wide off a skate. Back toward the line. Pounded toward the net by Sandberg. And he put it wide. It bounced off the back wall. Picked up at center ice by Sundqvist. Taken off the puck nicely by Fleury. Fleury will gobble that up. Played back inside his own zone. Lead pass now again for Kyle Connor. Darts inside the zone. Now into the high slot. Shoots. Deflected in front. And the rebound whisked away by Toropchenko after that save by Binnington. Winnipeg will stop that. Put it back in. It'll be offside against the Jets. And Winnipeg's come out with much more zeal here in this second period to start. 16:49 remaining in this middle frame. 2-0 St. Louis.
Yeah, they've got the first 3 shots of the period, which is exactly the start you're looking for, and a great opportunity for Dominic Toninato. Gets that inside position on Colton Parayko in front, so when the high tip goes off the pad of Jordan Binnington, he's in a great spot for it. Just comes out with a little bit more speed than I think he's anticipating, and he's just not quite able to get the stick on it, but this is exactly the start you want to the second period for the Jets.
St. Louis back inside their own zone. Broberg made a bad pass, but it knocked the stick out of Iafolo's hands, and he couldn't take up the secondary puck battle. Winnipeg will keep it inside the zone then. In to help out. Back toward the line, and it hopped over the stick of Luke Schenn. Good job there by Toninato to help out, but Winnipeg just couldn't hold the line. Sent back inside. Racing after it, Toninato back in behind the net. Jammed along the board to the near side. Gathered up by St. Louis. Tanev finished his hit there on Broberg to the near side. Here comes Faxon across the line. Faxon will stop up. Faxon will rim it around back in behind the net. After to the far side goes Falk. Falk will pull it back, and he will wrist it back into the corner. Tumbles there, settled down by Toninato. Rimmed around to the near side. Iafolo back after it. Twists off a check, got inside position. Stumbled out towards center ice and made sure the puck got outside of his own zone. Grabbed again here by Kyrou. Kyrou to the near side. Intended for Thomas. And it's going to be offside against St. Louis. 15:50 remaining in the second period. 2-0 for the Blues.
Yeah, you can feel that push from Winnipeg coming now up to 4-0 in the shots on goal in this second period. Brandon Tanev with a big hit, second big hit that Broberg's been on the receiving end in this game. And just feel like if Winnipeg can get one, the crowd's, after the last whistle was getting on their feet, trying to get them that extra little bit of momentum. You just feel like if Winnipeg can get one, that momentum will be firmly on their side.
Wrapped inside that Winnipeg end by the Blues. Winnipeg will go after it. Neighbors to the near side. Scrum ensues in the near side corner inside the Winnipeg end. It emerges out toward the side of the slot. Sashaying away from traffic. Sandberg moved it ahead. Niederreiter skips inside the zone. Dropped it for Barron. Shoots that one wide. To the near side to hold it is Appleton. Appleton back toward the line. DeMello. Dieter on the far side. Sandberg wristed toward the net. Blocked away by Binnington. Rebound absconded with nicely by the Blues. They're out towards center ice. Far side Neighbors across the line. Stops up. Neighbors will back hit it into the corner off a stick. Gobbled up by Winnipeg. Here's Sandberg. He topped it ahead with a backhand now, swaying through that neutralized Barron. Far side from Velarde. Velarde will stop up into the corner, put it back in behind the net for Barron. Barron tried to roll it around for Niederreiter, broken up by Fowler. Far side, Fowler got it back again, and a long lead pass for Thomas. Thomas across the line, high slot for Kyrou, dances away, shoots. Stopped away on the far side by Hellebuck, and he'll hang on for a whistle. Moving to his right was Kyrou, looking for his second goal of the night. Hellebuck moved with him and absorbed that right in the crest. 14:45 is still to go in the second. 2-0 for St. Louis.
And a little line switch has certainly seemed to put a little bit of a spark into Winnipeg offensively. And sure, they didn't like a lot of what they did in that first period, but it's kind of exactly what Neil Pionk said. Get on the forecheck and start creating off of that. Winnipeg's done that so far this period.
St. Louis wins the draw. Parayko off the boards for Buchnevich. Weak shot toward the net at the side of the goal. Swatted toward the net as Hellebuck got his stick on it. Good save there. Back toward the line. Fowler. That was off the stick of Kyrou again. Kyrou back him on the net. Beaten to the puck there by Fleury. Rolled it around to the far side for Neil Pionk. Flipped out towards center ice. Off the glove of 6'6" Colton Parayko. And snatched again here by the Blues. Hoisted back inside that Winnipeg end from center ice by Thomas. He heads off on a line change. Winnipeg will gather it up inside their own zone. Pionk moved it up along the board to the near side. Perfetti bumped off the puck. Now back inside that Winnipeg end is Broberg. Broberg put it back in behind the net. Intercepted by Pionk. Rolled around far side. Fleury up along the wing now for Lowry. Lowry chugs out towards center ice to the near side for Kyle Connor. Winnipeg looked like they were going to be offside. Slung toward the net. No call. That stopped well in front. Grabbed by Winnipeg. Back to the line. Shen, far side for Sandberg. Up top for Luke Shen. Winds up. Slap pass. That went wide. Lowry goes back after it. Lowry into where the corner against Broberg. There is Kyle Connor trying to help out as well. Changing on the fly going on. And flipped out towards center ice. And Faxa. And down inside that Winnipeg end. It will slide. Jets changing on the fly. Continues. Luke Shen, long lead pass for Nikolai Ehlers. Scoots in, slap shot, and he fired it wide. Rebound back to the near side. Luke Shen trying to hold the line. Kicked it from his skate to his stick. Couldn't gather it up. Far side fall. Lead pass for Joseph off his stick and down inside the Winnipeg end. Now it's given away. Hellebuck and a shot for Joseph. And Hellebuck got back in the net and made the save after Hellebuck gave it away to Sundqvist. Out towards center ice. Perfetti. He'll snap it back inside. That St. Louis end. Under 13 minutes remaining in the second period. Here comes St. Louis again. Striding inside the zone. Bolduc shoots. That went wide. Knocked off the boards there by Tanev. He'll settle it down. Arcs off the boards inside his own zone. Makes a nice move. Rumbling through that neutral ice. Onto the far side. Too far for Tony Nato. And icing's going to be washed out. Binnington will slide it around to the corner to the near side. Fowler being bothered by a double team. Snaps it around to the far side. Pionk tried to hustle in to hold the line. Could not. It's sent down inside that Winnipeg end. DeMello goes after it against Neighbors. They tie each other up, and Neighbors came away with a puck. He waits for some board. And then Tanev gave it away. High slot, shot, stop, rebound off a deflection. Grabbed away again by Winnipeg to the near side. DeMello. And DeMello in front of his own net for his deep partner in Pionk. Lead pass again, Tony Nato. Too far for him. Stopped by Binnington. And Winnipeg will make some changes. Leddy out of his own zone. Lead pass again for Neighbors. To the near side again and across the line sooner. Moving in, shoots. Love down by Hellebuck. He'll hang on for whistle. 11:56 remaining in this second period. The score, St. Louis 2, Winnipeg nothing. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 at 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Waters, and reliable heating and air conditioning is truly a family. My parents started the business over 30 years ago, and today, me and my brother Clint are carrying it on, with customer satisfaction being priority number one. We believe good service is affordable to all our customers, so give us a call if your furnace or AC isn't working like it should. We want you to feel comfortable 24/7. We are family strong, reliable strong, and Winnipeg strong. For details, visit reliableheatair.ca.
How has AgDirect Hail become one of the largest and fastest growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies? Is it our competitive rates, our superior customer service and professional claims handling? Or maybe it's our easy to use online application? I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance, and I want to thank hard-working farm families for your support. Whatever your reason is for choosing Ag Direct Hail, we appreciate your business. Please visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free.
Grab your jersey. Grab your generic lager. Impressively standard beer for impressively intense moments. Brewed in Winnipeg by Little Brown Jug. Generic. The most domestic choice.
The official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
Winnipeg Jets Hockey brought to you in part by St. Andrews Parts and Power, Wilsey Live Ford, and Windeck. 2-0 St. Louis on a pair of goals scored in the first period. Under 12 minutes remaining in this second frame. We do it to the right of Hellebuck. Velarde will take the draw against Thomas. Scramble face-off, and Winnipeg will come away with it. Dashing out of his own zone, Sandberg up the middle of the ice. Tried to flip it in, hit a stick. Winnipeg trying to stay on side. Knocked back to the near side, and Lowry will just paddle it back inside his own zone. Jets will sort it out. Sandberg to the near side for Neil Pionk. Back for Sandberg. Up the middle of the ice. He'll dump it in right on top of the stick there. Bennington chopped toward the near side. Winnipeg will take away the puck. Connor will put it back in behind the net. Fowler goes after, twists away from a check, and some forechecking there. Velarde sends it all the way down. Icing will be the call against the Blues. 11:21 remaining in the second period at 2-0 St. Louis.
It's a big puck battle win by Kyle Connor high in the St. Louis zone to keep it in there, keep St. Louis defending just a little bit longer. Now Gabriel Velarde ultimately loses the one-on-one down low. I think Parayko was just able to get that position on him, but at the very least you force the icing from St. Louis instead of them being able to break out efficiently.
Winnipeg wins the draw. Fleury is hurried, pounds it into the corner. Snatched there by Fowler, flipped out towards center ice. Bounced down inside that Winnipeg end. Grabbed by Buchnevich. Put it into the high slot. Weaving through that slot area is Snuggerud. Goes rink wide. Knocked away by Ehlers. Wasn't clean though. Overskated out to center ice by Nemestikov. He wanted to spring Ehlers in on a breakaway. Winnipeg will try again. 2-on-2. Nemestikov. Near side for Ehlers with speed. Crossed over the line. Shoots it toward the net. There's Nemestikov out in front. Went to the forehand again and knocked it wide. He found himself all alone in front of Bennington again and knocked it wide. Back towards center ice. Slapped right back in by DeMello. Rolled around to the far side. Fowler will try to get it up. And it's rolled back in behind the net. Again is Broberg to the near side. Chopped out towards center ice. Winnipeg has really come on in this second period. They've had some excellent chances, but they haven't found the back of the net. Niederreiter to the near side. Following up is Luke Shen. Shen will stuff it down inside that Blues end. Bennington came out to play that. Rimmed it around to the near side. Luke Shen will hold the line. Shoot, stop, rebound. Pounded off the stick there again of Bennington. Grabbed into the corner. Niederreiter back for the line. Sandberg shot off a challenging Toropchenko up and over the back glass. And on a play it goes. 10:05 remaining in the second period. 2-0 St. Louis.
On another great look for Vlad Nemestikov. You figure one of these got to go. The puck is kind of just following him in this game. It just seems like every time he gets anywhere around the St. Louis Blues net, it finds a way to bounce into his possession. This one off of Falk. He was a little bit in tight on Binnington that time, but just maybe not quite having the angle to go to that forehand as maybe in the last couple of opportunities, but still a little bit of a stick bang on the bench. Nemestikov knows he's had a couple of great looks.
Winnipeg will send it around or go after it after the Blues send it around, and Winnipeg will get back in on the horse and get inside their own zone. Pionk will send it around to the near side and out towards center ice. Knocked by Lowry. Chip and chase. Gathers up the puck deep inside the Blues end. Curls up. Put it back toward the near side. Velarde takes a body check from Toropchenko. Came away with the puck. Moves in. Shoots. And he ripped it just wide on the far side. It came off the back wall and slides all the way back down inside that Jets end. The Blues lose or use the opportunity for a line change with 9.5 remaining in this second period.
Saw Velarde score from a very similar spot against the Calgary Flames earlier this year. That one just missed that far post.
Swirling his way inside the zone is Neil Pionk. And there'll be an offside call against the Jets. 9:21 remaining in the second period. 2-0 St. Louis. Back after these, you're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Jets fans, playoff hockey is back, and there's nothing bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable history-making moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Experience the Whiteout inside Canada Life Center, live and in person. Get access to playoff packages and pre-sales for round 2 and beyond by visiting winnipegjets.com/memberships today. That's winnipegjets.com/memberships.
When the game really counts, you want to watch it on the big screen with great food and cheering fans. That's why Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs are Winnipeg's favorite destinations for playoff hockey. Want to experience a game in person? Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs are giving away tickets to the next home game. Plus, enjoy great food and beverage specials. Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs. Manitoba owned, Manitoba grown, and Manitoba proud. Canad Inns thanks you for supporting local. Proudly a part of your community since 1975. Enjoy responsibly.
There's nothing quite like the playoffs. And there's no better way to enjoy the games in the comfort of your own home. Top shelf, baby! JS Furniture wants you to break away with these amazing deals. Save up to 40% off 4 model recliners and select reclining sofas, so you can watch every hit, shot, and celly. JS Furniture, serving you for over 50 years. 1725 Ellis Avenue in Winnipeg, and now open in their new location in Portage la Prairie. Visit furnitureandmore.ca.
Hey, this is Josh Morrissey. Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton are bringing it. Winnipeg Jets hockey style on 680 CJOB.
9:21 remaining in the second period. 2-0 St. Louis. Tony Nato will take the draw on the neutral ice just in front of his own bench, just outside of that St. Louis blue line, and he'll win it. Tanev lead back in toward the net. Stopped by Binnington. Swept in toward the corner. Fight will start there. Back in behind his own net. Fowler. Pardon me. Falk. He'll rim it around to the near side. And Winnipeg can't hold the line. Carried off of Iafallo. Had the stick chopped out of his hands. And there's a penalty coming up to St. Louis. A little delayed for Hellebuck. He had to make sure there was a penalty coming up. Now he goes to the bench for the extra attacker. Winnipeg will settle the puck down on neutral ice. Kyle Connor twisting around, making a few moves. Chipped it to the near side for Cole Perfetti. He rotates back inside his own zone. Now he'll advance over the far side. Iafallo shoveled back inside his own zone for Fleury, who will nestle back in behind his own net. Now lead the attack. 8.5 remaining. Winnipeg with a delayed penalty coming up in this second period. Far side, Perfetti shoots it around to the near side. Touched there by St. Louis and Braden Shen. We'll get a stoppage of play, and the Jets will go on the power play for Prairie Battery for the first time tonight.
St. Louis 70 minor penalty for slashing.
Sunquist for slashing. Your one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born and Canadian-owned PrairieBattery.ca.
Of course, Winnipeg able to get the power play going last game, going 2 for 6. But of course, they had Josh Morrissey in that regard. So we'll see what ends up happening personnel-wise. Obviously, Neil Pionk will take the defense spot that Josh Morrissey normally takes. Cole Perfetti, Nikolai Ehlers, Kyle Connor, and Gabriel Velarde out there. So big moment in the hockey game. How's that for deep analysis here in Game 7?
And a different looking power play, as you were mentioning as well. Velarde will take the draw against Faxa. 8:26 remaining, second period. 2-0 St. Louis. Jets a couple of power play goals last time out on Friday night in St. Louis. They win the draw. Neil Pionk up top to the near side. Has for Connor. Connor down low, deflected. They score! Cole Perfetti with a deflection. 7 seconds into the power play. And Winnipeg is on the board. It's 2-1 for St. Louis. Another goal for Cole Perfetti. And this place is now on its feet.
What a deflection this is. His first goal of the series was pure determination, going to the net and hammering at that puck until it went in. This one, all skill. Just an all-world deflection by Cole Perfetti to get it high, short side on Jordan Binnington before the Blues goaltender could even react. Winnipeg gets a key face-off win to start this power play, and seconds later, it's in the back of the net.
Cole Perfetti with his second of the postseason. 11:41, the time of the goal. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. Connor and Pionk officially at 11:41. Swain back inside that Winnipeg end. Buchnevich shoots. Stopped by Hellebuck. Rebound Buchnevich for Thomas back toward the line. Fowler. Far side. Parayko slap shot fired it wide. As the Blues came marching back inside that Winnipeg end. Stopped and sorted out by Pionk. Rolled around to the far side for Sandberg. Out towards center ice. Off a stick and then flushed back inside that Winnipeg end by Kyrou. Winnipeg will stop that. Lead pass now. Velarde across the line. His shot weakly off a stick. Flies into Binnington, and he'll glove that down and hang on for a whistle. 7:36 remaining in this second period. 2-1 St. Louis. Perfetti second from Connor. Pionk 11:41. A monumental goal for Winnipeg at this stage of the hockey game. Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you in part by Shine Dental, Mr. Reuter, and Cape Credit Union.
And you wonder if sometimes when your power play personnel is a little all over the map, sometimes things get a little bit more simple. There wasn't a whole lot of looking around for the perfect play. Connor just, with the attack mindset, getting it down low to Cole Perfetti.
Winnipeg, the puck into where the slot, turning and firing. Appleton, that was blocked off a faceoff inside the Blues end. And then gathered up again by the Blues and snapped off the boards out towards center ice. Snuggerud will punch it inside the Winnipeg end. Stopped there by DeMello, rolled to the far side for Hayden Fleury. Fleury turned it over, 3-on-2 back the other way. Here's Shen moving in, shoots, and it's off the stick of DeMello. There to challenge. Sprays into where the corner, held by Falk. Falk will send it back in behind the net for Braden Shen. Popped off the puck, but there to help out is Toropchenko. He absorbs a hard hit now from Barron along that back wall. Fleury in to help out. Racing after it to stick lift now is DeMello. He'll move it to the near side, and Appleton, and out towards center ice it goes. Here's Toropchenko. Dancing back in. Toropchenko fell down. Grabbed the puck back in behind the net again. Alexei Toropchenko to the near side for Faksa. Back in behind the net. Faksa back toward the line for Leddy. Leddy to the near side for Ryan Suter. Suter will pass that into where the corner. Cast it back toward the line. Off the stick of Walker. Good stick by Appleton to send that back out towards center ice. Back comes Leddy across the line. High slot. Swaying into where the corner is Walker. Sends it around to the far side again for Fowler. Off the bench, he'll hold the line. Wrist shot bounces toward Hellebuck. Left pad save. Winnipeg will throttle it up along the boards all the way down. Icing will be the call against the Jets with 6:08 remaining in the second period.
And of course, it goes without saying that after Winnipeg gets within one, you knew St. Louis was going to have some kind of pushback, and that's exactly what we've seen the last couple of shifts. Winnipeg having to defend really for the second time this period. That St. Louis had a little bit of a push earlier in the period, but it's been all Winnipeg so far. But St. Louis coming on the last couple of shifts, Winnipeg's had to be smart in their own zone.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. Blues win the draw. Back toward the line, Parayko. Far side for Buchnevich. Buchnevich twisting and turning. Back toward the line. Cross ice pass. Captured here. Fowler out of the corner. Fowler darts toward the front of the net. Backhand. As he fanned on the first one, the backhand went wide. Back toward the line. Parayko for Fowler again. Shot in the slot. Blocked in front. Winnipeg outlet it to the near side. Nikolai Ehlers will lumber out towards center ice. Moved it ahead for Cole Perfetti. And it went off his stick as he was trying to maneuver inside and over that blue line. And into where the corner. Buchnevich dances back out towards center ice. Crossed over the line. Dropped it for Kyrou. Kyrou swings back in behind the net. Swivels into where the corner. He'll leave it now for Thomas. Back to the line for Falk. Falk to the near side. Broberg kicked it from a skate to a stick. His shot goes off the stick of Nemestikov. And Winnipeg will discharge it all the way down. This will be icing against the Jets. 15-15 remaining in the second period. 2-1 the Blues.
And a similar situation coming up on this face-off that happened on the last one, where Winnipeg's got a couple of exhausted players out there. This time it's going to be Perfetti and Nikolai Ehlers. Vlad Nemestikov came on a little bit later on after Morgan Barron got stuck out on the last shift that resulted in an icing. So another important face-off here.
Face-off to the right of Hellebuck. Nemestikov against Braden Shen. Shen wins it. Snapped from the top of the circle onto the stick there of Snuggerud. His shot ricochets wide. Grabbed by Ehlers. Long dump in from center ice. Winnipeg wants a change. Everybody hopping over the boards to the near side. Neighbors turns and fires it in. Stopped there by Shen. Shen skewers it along the board, back into where the corner. His brother Braden will grab that for St. Louis, put it back toward the line. Here's Broberg. He locks and loaded, now shoots the puck toward the net. Bit of a wrist shot after faking the slapper. Blocked in front by Tanev, spills into where the corner. Tanev put it back toward the line. Broberg to the near side, shoot. Tanev dropped down and blocked that. Came back for the line, held again here by the Blues. Broberg with it again, wrist shot through traffic, off the glove of Hellebuck. Gathered up again by Braden Shen. Into where the corner now for Neighbors. Neighbors to the near side, Broberg shoots! And it's knocked down by Hellebuck. And he'll hang on for a whistle. 4:24 remaining in this second period. The score with everybody on their feet. St. Louis 2, Winnipeg 1. Back after these. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 at 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Back in 2014, we launched Ag Direct with the goal of changing the crop hail insurance industry by combining broker-free rates with superior customer service and professional claims handling. Thanks to the support of hard-working farm families, Ag Direct Hail is now one of the largest and fastest growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll free. We appreciate your business.
You're a do-it-yourselfer, and we're here to help. Hi, I'm Mel Duick from Windeck. We're known for building beautiful top-of-the-line, low-maintenance decks. But many people don't know Windeck also supplies products for the do-it-yourselfer. And I guarantee they are the finest, safest, most proven products on the market. Like Wolf PVC decking, Inlight lighting, and Star aluminum railings. So if you have a deck project that you'd like to tackle yourself, use the products the pros use from Windeck. And do it once, do it right.
Winnipeg, are you whiteout ready? Choose hometown pride. Choose 1919. Brewed by Little Brown Jug, Manitoba's flagship beer since 2016. Here's to building something memorable.
This is Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
4:25 remaining in the second period. 2-1 St. Louis. Face off to the right of Connor Hellebuck. Morgan Barron will take the draw against Radek Faksa. Jets are down. Josh Morrissey, he left fairly early in the first period on a body check along the back wall behind his own net from Oscar Sundqvist and has not returned. Jets get it out towards center ice. Backhanded right back in. Parayko. Indirect now for Faksa. Hard hit over by his bench by Morgan Barron, who finished on him. Winnipeg up along the board to the near side. Niederreiter far side for Barron across the line. Shoots! Rubbed down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle.
And obviously we talked about the success the power plays had. It scored each of Winnipeg's last 3 goals dating back to Game 6. They've had their 5-on-5 chances, especially here in this second period. You know they'd love to break through at 5-on-5 as well, because power plays will definitely be at a premium in a Game 7 type situation. So any opportunity that Winnipeg can have to try to find some success at 5-on-5, then they were a great 5-on-5 team this year, would be huge in this moment.
Face off to the right of Bennington. Lowry will win the draw, but Winnipeg and Kyle Connor could not corral it to settle it down. Back the other way comes Sundqvist and across the line. Backhander toward the net. Walkered into the corner by Hellebuck. Winnipeg will fight for it there. Buchnevich is there. Velarde's there. Thomas trying to get it back out in front. Bounced off his skate back into where the corner. Fighting forward is DeMello. He'll move it ahead for Lowry. Lowry onto the far side. Racing after it is Neil Pion. Slot by a check. He leads the attack. Across the line. High slot. Connor shooting. And it's kicked away by Bennington. Excellent play for Winnipeg, late developing. Good effort there by Neil Pion. Back the other way comes Robert Thomas. Skips inside the zone. Puts on the brakes. Plays it down into where the corner. Luke Shen paddled it back up along the boards. Velarde back for Shen. And Shen will escape his own zone. Striding towards center ice. Cut across the line. Shen with it. He'll put it back in behind the net. It rolls around to the far side. Sundqvist will gather that up. He will move it out towards center ice and off the boards. It's deposited inside the Winnipeg end. After it, Joseph will leave it side of the slot. Bouncing puck over skated by Sundqvist. Winnipeg will steer it out towards center ice. Fleury takes a body check, but moved it ahead down to the near side at center ice for Nemestikov. Break wide for the weak side now for Schenn. Schenn will tap it inside the zone, take a body check from Falk, and get it in deep and head off on a line change. 2:35 remaining in this second period. 2-1 for the Blues. Winnipeg will try to hold the line. They cannot. Out towards center ice, Joseph. He dances in, shoots, and he put it off the stick of Hayden Fleury and wide. Gathered up on the far side again by Bolduc. He put it aimlessly back in behind the Winnipeg net. Settled down by Fleury.
That's a good backtrack right there by Hayden Fleury. Some desperation by Cole Perfetti in the neutral zone as well. Got a little bit of a hook in on Bolduc just to slow him up on his first couple strides.
Nemestikov into where the corner. Pulling his way into where the corner there. Smashing Lenny against the boards. Waiting for some help. There's some pushing and shoving. Little cross-checking going on. Pulled off the wall now by Suter. Far side for Neighbors. Neighbors chip and chase down inside that Winnipeg end. Tannen will bump him hard and along that back wall. Give him a couple of cross-checks. It's freed up by DeMello. Trying to move it up along the board. Stopped there by Braden Schenn. Rolled it around to the near side. Tannen trying to get off a check. Snuggerud took the puck away from him. Snuggerud trying to put it back out in front. Hit the side of the net and cascades back out towards center ice and down inside that Blues end. Leddy hustles back inside his own zone to the near side for Thomas. Off his stick, but he was on his side of center. We got an icing call against St. Louis. 1:27 remaining in the second period. 2-1 for the Blues.
I tell you what, Morgan Barron gained a lot of ground in the neutral zone on that race for that puck, and Nick Leddy had quite the head start on him and had to make a little bit of a play under pressure, and that led to the icing.
Velarde will take the draw. Into where the corner it goes. Nick Leddy out toward center ice. Moved ahead by Fleury as he ties up his man and Kyrou. Blues are going to be offside. They'll check up. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Redirected by Connor down inside that Blues end. Lowry goes after it now for Connor. Connor walks off the boards. Got taken off the puck. Good stick check there. Out to center ice. It's nudged ahead. Inside the Winnipeg end by Kyrou. Winnipeg back on the collection. Fleury. 5 deep for Winnipeg. Under a minute to go in this second period. Fleury's pass off the stick to Velarde. Stopped by Binnington. He'll backhand it into where the corner. Parayko up along the boards. Nobody home. Falls back inside that Winnipeg end. Luke Schenn with it. Cross ice pass. Far side for Ehlers. Can't handle that. Gobbled up now and turned the other way. Here comes Faxa across the line. Shoots and scores. Radek Faxa took a pass in transition from Nathan Walker. Walked in, goes to the top shelf. And the Blues, late in this second period, have regained their 2-goal lead with 34 seconds remaining in the middle frame. It's 3-1 St. Louis.
Last minutes of periods have just killed the Jets in this series, and in Game 7 it shows itself one more time. It's a stretch cross-ice pass from Luke Schenn looking for Nikolai Ehlers from the right side of the ice all the way to the left, and just slightly mistimed. Ehlers not able to handle it cleanly, and then it's just a clean 3-on-2 back the other way.
And Faxa, his first goal of this postseason, 19:25, the time of it. The face-off off the ensuing face-off as the whistle goes. Do it again at center ice. Time of the goal. Going to be a penalty to Winnipeg coming up on that as well. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. Faxa from Walker, 19:25. And a tripping call against the Jets as Nikolai Ehlers got his stick into the feet of Parayko.
Yeah, Ehlers' issue is he got knocked over by Braden Schenn, kind of coming right out of the face-off, and that him being knocked over is what resulted in his stick being down by Parayko's feet.
So the first opportunity in the power play for the Blues tonight. They win the draw. They get it around to the far side. Sandberg was high-sticked, and there's going to be a penalty coming up, or no? Yeah, there's going to be a penalty. The Blues had the puck. The officials are going to check Sandberg for blood.
Doesn't look like there's any, at least from the brief look we got on the replay, but what a turn of events this would be. That's just Snuggerud trying to just deflect that puck around, and it clips Sandberg right in the chin. How did anybody see it?
Oh boy, they're not going to call a penalty on that?
I thought that's why he went right over to Sandberg.
Right. They're not calling a penalty on this.
Unbelievable. Like, it's not even the argument of a follow through of a shot or anything. It's none of that.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. We continue. Blues in the power play. They win the draw back toward the line. Buchnevich held with a backhand. Far side now to the near side again. Thomas up top again for Fowler. Back for Thomas. Thomas stick handling, top of the circle on the near side. Surveying, shoots, blocked there by Shen. Winnipeg will backhand it all the way down the ice. And that'll do it for 40 minutes. In downtown tonight, 3-1 St. Louis after 2 periods of play.
Oh, a really tough end to a great period by the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, they get themselves within one. They had a couple more opportunities over the course of that period. And then to have Radek Faksa restore that 2-goal cushion going into the third obviously makes things more difficult to climb out of the hole that you're in. But it's going to start with about a 91-second penalty kill for the Winnipeg Jets, even though it should be 4-on-4.
I'll have a look at the stats summary through 40 minutes with 1 period to go. St. Louis open up the scoring. Jordan Kyrou is third of the year from Parayko. Pardon me, is third of the postseason from Parayko and Buchnevich at 1:10. And that made it 1-0. And then Matthew Joseph, an unassisted goal off for Rush. His shot beats Connor Hellebuck at 7:16. His first of the playoffs. 2-0 after 1 period of play for the Blues. Winnipeg on the power play went to work and get a goal from Cole Perfetti, his second of the postseason from Connor and Pionk. 11:41, and Winnipeg had really pushed for that power play opportunity and for that goal. Bought a rush by Faksa on a pass from Walker out of that St. Louis end as Winnipeg turned over the puck at that St. Louis blue line. Results in Radek Faksa beating Connor Hellebuck to the top corner on the far side with a wrist shot for his first of the playoffs. Nathan Walker picks up an assist at 19:25, and it restores the 2-goal lead for St. Louis. 3-1 after 2 periods of play now is where we sit. Power play opportunities. Winnipeg 1 for 1 with the man advantage. The Blues still have their first that will carry over from the second into the third, and it's 1 minute and 31 seconds to Nikolai Ehlers for tripping. Shots on goal, Winnipeg out shooting the St. Louis Blues in that second period, 11-9, but the Blues hold the edge through 2 periods at 16-14. Flatlanders, Winnipeg's largest beer and beverage festival, is back this June 6th and 7th right here at Canada Life Center. Sample more than 300 beers, including products exclusive to the festival, and an expanded selection of ciders and ready-to-drink bevies. Tickets are on sale right now through Ticketmaster. Flatlanders Beer Fest in support of the True North Youth Foundation. Second intermission report is coming up next with Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gilowoychuk. The score after 2. The St. Louis Blues 3, the Winnipeg Jets 1, here in game number 7. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Welcome to the city's biggest conversation.
There's work that you have to do in order to be successful.
I'm forcing myself to smile right now to try to calm myself down because my blood is boiling for you.
And then you have to defend your actions.
There's a window of opportunity here. It's a marvel.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
It's such a huge plus.
How do you feel about it?
It's not anything other than that.
Oh, what did we get out of that? Do you guys know what we're supposed to do now? No.
I can't even begin to understand.
You're listening to 680 CJOB, Winnipeg's News, Today's Talk.
Experience the excitement at South Beach Casino and Resort as we celebrate 20 fantastic years, and we have you to thank. We appreciate your support over the last 2 decades, so come celebrate our 20th anniversary with us. We're kicking things off April 21st with a chance to win a brand new Jeep Sahara. Winner announced May 31st. 20 years, now that's worth celebrating at South Beach Casino and Resort. Details at southbeachcasino.ca.
It's Jacuzzi Manitoba's 25th anniversary. 25% off jacuzzi hot tubs and swim spas. Get a 4-person jacuzzi hot tub for just $69.90, or a 7-person jacuzzi hot tub loaded with jets and LED lights for just $10,990. And swim spas starting under $27,000, plus 25% off in-stock massage chairs and saunas. And 0% financing is available. Over 100 hot tubs in stock and on sale right now at Jacuzzi Manitoba, 1580 St. Mary's Road or 411 Madison Street.
This is Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
3-1 the St. Louis Blues with the lead, and again St. Louis scores in the final minute of a period. That has been an all too occurring theme for the Winnipeg Jets. Radek Faksa with a huge goal with just 34.1 seconds remaining after the Jets had cut the Blues lead to 2-1. And on that goal, we congratulate Scott Bencharski, correctly predicting that Cole Perfetti would score the first goal of the game tonight for the Winnipeg Jets. So, Scott, you have won a pair of single-night tickets to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival coming up July 18th through 20th at Assiniboine Park. Just think if during that stretch we have weather like we have outside right now, Dwayne Gilroy. Chuck, very tense on the inside. Great redirection goal by Cole Perfetti on the power play. And it looked like Winnipeg really had St. Louis, I don't want to say necessarily backpedaling, but certainly in defend mode. And then just a simple missed outlet pass. And it doesn't take much of a mistake to come back and haunt you in this series.
No, the Cole Perfetti goal, they woke the whole building up. It just woke the whole bench up, and it just got some energy to everybody on the ice, in the building. And even before that, there are a couple shifts before that, they caused the penalty, the power play they got. The Winnipeg was really starting to skate. You could really see the transition game coming. And like Neil Pionk said, the forecheck was established a little bit in the mid part of that period, about the 10-minute mark. And then all of a sudden, the Jets started coming. And then the goal against, it's a simple little transition. Those are the pucks you've got to make sure, especially now in a 2-1 game. You don't want to turn any puck over. And it's a simple transition. It's a 3-on-2 entry. It's a well-executed entry, and it's a grade A shot by Faksa.
Yeah, that St. Louis fourth line of Radek Faksa, Alexei Toropchenko, and Nathan Walker. Walker drew the assist on that play. Faksa finally gets on the board. Toropchenko's got a couple of goals. Walker has 3. So that is 6 goals from St. Louis's so-called fourth line. I think we're switching that to the identity line. But right near the end of the period, the Jets on the penalty kill, it really does befuddle me. This is where I think I sometimes believe in the hockey gods, coach, because, early in the period, Vlad Domestikov with the backhand that just rolls off his stick in a wide open net. Then on the forehand chance, that was about 2 minutes in, the forehand opportunity about midway through the period that he just shoots wide. But somehow, both officials working the game tonight, Jean Hébert and Gord Dwyer, miss what looked to be a pretty obvious high stick by Jimmy Snuggerud on Dylan Samberg.
Yeah, you see Samberg go down right away, so there was contact somewhere with the stick. I think the official inside the zone, the close official, was trying to get out of the way of the two players that were going for the puck. But I'm sure, I don't know how the back official didn't see it. But, it's one of those cases where, they missed it, and I don't know if they thought it was on the follow-through, but, he did to try to, pass the puck or take a shot to redirect towards the net, but it's a missed call. It's too bad that Winnipeg wasn't going on 4-4 to start the period, but they've got to get this killed off in the start of this third period and go after this game.
Yeah, they have managed to kill off the last 12 power plays for the St. Louis Blues, but certainly from the Jets' perspective, they must be able to keep the St. Louis Blues from adding to a 3-1 lead. I almost wonder if 3 is going to be enough for the Blues tonight, between the way Binnington is playing and between the limited chances that Winnipeg is getting.
Yeah, Winnipeg was a much better team going direct and getting into the zone off the rush or in the offensive zone, having some sustained pressure. But they're still not getting inside. They're, executing an entry, but the shots are from way out or from outside the dots, and there's no net front traffic. There's no chaos in front of Bennington. The only play that was is when Nemestikov had that little rush there. He kind of cut back, and then Perfetti bumped into Bennington there a little bit, getting pushed in. But it was really the only time this whole game there was any chaos in front of Bennington at all.
Yeah, and, I want to go back to the power play goal scored by Cole Perfetti because it's similar to the goal that tied it in St. Louis on Friday night. He doesn't get credit for it, but it starts with a one face-off by Gabriel Velarde, who's done a job again at the face-off dot tonight. He's 3-2. St. Louis have won 19 of the 33 draws, but Gabe Velarde's won some very, very critical face-offs.
And going back and forth and playing wing, the center at different times, it's only face-off, but it's just a different mindset, a different, thought process when you go from wing to the center on a face-off. But that was a really clean win. They were able to get it back to Neil Pionk at the top. Kyle Connor gets it on the half wall, and you look like he was just going to pass it to Cole Perfetti on the side. But Cole, you could just see that he started creeping towards Bennington a little bit, and it's a little slap pass, but that's a very talented, very high-skilled tip by Cole Perfetti.
Who's really caught my eye tonight is Hayden Fleury. He has skated miles out there. He's already played 15 minutes and 36 seconds, or 15:06, which is probably a good minute or two more than he would have been playing for the entire game under normal circumstances.
Yeah, with the five-man rotation, everybody's going to play a little bit more, but there were times when they went down the four to kind of get in some, a little bit of a groove or some partners together just to kind of see if they could trigger something offensively, and he seemed to be the guy that benefited from that. He really noticeable. He's starting to skate a little bit, get involved in the rush a little bit more on entries. He's pinching down in the offensive blue line, but that's what it's going to take here for Winnipeg to get back in this game. They need to create some offense somewhere, either from the back end or from a line.
Neil Pionk leading the way with 17 minutes and 40 seconds, not far behind his defense partner Dylan Sandberg at 17:23. And so, yeah, those two are gobbling up the majority of the minutes, along with Hayden Fleury. Dylan DeMello just at 14:42, and Luke Shen at 13:10. So Fleury's become the go-to guy for Dean Chenoweth, who's very familiar with him going back to his Carolina days. Jets can't. Well, first off, they have to get through that 90 seconds of the third period, killing off the penalty, but they can't tie it up in the first 5 minutes. However, they can re-establish themselves to at least create some semblance of getting back in this hockey game.
Yeah, they've got to play direct. They can't spend any time, defending. They've got to transition the puck. They've got to have clean numbers coming through, and they've got to get some pucks in behind St. Louis's D here, especially with that third pairing out there as much as they can. But they've got to get some traffic and some chaos in front of Bennington. He's got to make sure that he knows that this is going to be his hardest period of work. He can't have an easy save in this period.
37 hits so far in the game for the Winnipeg Jets. Luke Shen and Brandon Tanev. Oh, what a hard belt he gave Jake Neighbors on the end boards. They each have 5. Adam Lowry and Cole Perfetti with 4 apiece. I like Perfetti's game tonight, but you can't help but go back to the first 70 seconds of the game, spotting the visiting team a 1-0 lead that early in a Game 7. You just make it a real uphill climb for yourself.
Yeah, the Winnipeg's been chasing ever since that first time, right? Yeah. So now they've got to find a way to, make sure no more goals against, and they've got to find one to get early and then one in the middle frame to make this a hockey game.
Yeah, I'm going to tally it up over the course of the early part of the third period, just how big of a difference it has been for St. Louis playing with the lead in this series compared to the Winnipeg Jets. Coach will join us either in the third intermission or the post-game show. Christian O'Mell standing by with a scoreboard update next as St. Louis leads at 3-1 in Game 7 on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Go! Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Plainout Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
In today's business world, hiring and retaining staff is a challenge, but Chambers Plan Employee Benefits gives you an edge. A solid benefits plan can be the deciding factor for job seekers. 30,000 Canadian businesses agree Chambers Plan gives you the flexibility to offer comprehensive benefits with affordable, stable premiums. See how Chambers Plan can benefit your business at buychambers.ca. That's BUY Chambers.ca.
The job gets done at St. Andrew's Parts and Power. The savings on Coyote subcompact tractors are big, big, big. Brad has stock of Coyote CS Series 2220 and CS 2520 tractors. Plus, get 2.99% for 72 months, a free loader, and $1,000 off. Get your Coyote subcompact tractor at St. Andrew's Parts and Power, where you'll say, that guy helped me.
And I can help you too at St. Andrew's Parts and Power.
Grab your jersey. Grab your generic lager. Impressively standard beer for impressively intense moments. Brewed in Winnipeg by Little Brown Jug. Generic, the most domestic choice.
Winnipeg Jets exclusive coverage continues on 680 CJOB and CJKR 97.5 FM Powered 97. Bet on Manitoba. Enjoy responsibly. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
Hey, Winnipeg Jets fans, there's nothing bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Visit winnipegjets.com/memberships. Christian O'Mell joins us now with a scoreboard update.
Big night in the NBA tonight as we have our last game of round one, just like this game here. It's a Sunday night game 7 in Houston, where Golden State has an early 3-point lead late in the first quarter. Winner of that will take on the Timberwolves in round 2. The Pacers open the East semifinal with a 121-112 win in Cleveland against the number 1 seed in the East, so they draw first blood there. In the major leagues, the Jays lose for a second straight day. They lose to Cleveland 5-4, 10 losses in their last 14 now for the Toronto Blue Jays. At the World Men's Hockey Championship, Canada opens with a 5-1 win over Austria. Plus, Sidney Crosby's on the way. He has confirmed he'll be playing, and he's probably bringing Nathan McKinnon with him, so they're getting reinforcements for that tournament.
All right, and while we just have a moment, we want to congratulate a quartet of Manitobans. That would be Prince George Cougars defenseman Carson Carrolls of Cypress River, Winnipeg-born forward Matthew Guard of the Red Deer Rebels, Vancouver Giants goaltender Burke Hood of Brandon, and media relations coordinator Brandon Crow of Verdun, all part of the Canadian men's under-18 squad that won the gold medal game 7-0 over Sweden last night in Frisco, Texas. Congratulations to those Manitobans and all of Team Canada. 3-1. The Jets do have a come-from-behind win, trailing after 40 minutes in this series. They'll need another one here tonight to keep their season alive. Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton with the call next on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Jets fans, playoff hockey is back, and there's nothing bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable history-making moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Experience the Whiteout inside Canada Life Center, live and in person. Get access to playoff packages and pre-sales for round 2 and beyond by visiting winnipegjets.com/memberships today. That's winnipegjets.com/memberships.
If you got pain in your... Do you go to just anybody? Or do you want to take your... to the best? Yeah, you go with the top guy, like Dr. Jay Buenafé. He is one of the top-rated doctors on RateMD.
Approximately 1 in 10 men suffer from a condition called Peyronie's disease. It can cause pain and discomfort. Learn how Dr. Jay Buenafé can help. Book your confidential visit at buenafeclinic.com.
You need more laughter in your life. Get ready for a wild time at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 18th through 20th at Assiniboine Park. Get ready for a weekend packed with laughs from John Mulaney.
Wouldn't have happened on my watch.
Martin Short, Bert Kreischer, Theo Vaughn, Whitney Cummings, Jeremy Piven, Trailer Park Boys,
Decent,
Ms. Pat, Dusty Slay, and Laura Peak. Tickets on sale now at GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Club is expressly prohibited. Bet on Manitoba. Enjoy responsibly. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
And we welcome you back to the broadcast booth. Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton with you, which is for Namath Diamonds. For your diamond engagement ring, see Namath Diamonds, a family tradition of excellence in the Southdale Square. Jets killing off the remaining 1 minute plus of the penalty to Nikolai Ehlers to start this third period. 20 minutes to go, 3-1 St. Louis. They're on the man advantage. And we're 20 seconds into this third. Winnipeg will stop the forward progression of the Blues at their own line and shuttle the puck all the way down the ice. 30 seconds have expired. 1 minute to go on the penalty to Nikolai Ehlers for tripping. First power play for the Blues. We'll send the puck inside that Winnipeg end. Race after it, send it around to the near side. Snuggerud bumped off the puck but puts on the brakes. Tannen will come away with that. Tap it back toward his defenseman and Sandberg, who will turn and fire it off the skate of Thomas on a line change by his bench. But I don't think the replacement had come on the ice just yet. And no, too many men called. 1 minute is gone. 29 seconds remaining in the power play. Here come the Blues again across the line. Neighbors back toward the line for Falk. Falk along the boards as the Blues get it set up inside the Winnipeg end. Back for Falk up top. On the far side. Shot by Broberg. Stop. Rebound on the backhand. That's stopped by Hellebuck as well. As Jake Neighbors was unloaded on after taking that backhand on that rebound. And Winnipeg will deposit the puck all the way down inside that Blues end.
Part one just about done for the Winnipeg Jets to start this third period. They get the penalty kill here. Now it's a matter of going to work 5-on-5.
Winnipeg will sift that puck through the neutral ice and down inside that Blues end. Ehlers is now out of that penalty box. 0 for 1 with the man advantage are the Blues. They're 0 for their last 10 in this series. Go rimming around to the far side. Faxa will jam it off the boards. It tumbles back inside that Winnipeg end. After it goes, Sandberg back in line his own net. He'll leave it now and roll it around to the far side for Neil Pion, who swivels into where the corner. Now for Nikolai Ehlers, can't handle that pass cleanly. Stays inside that Winnipeg end. There is Sandberg to help out. He'll fish it away from some traffic, get it to the far side for Cole Perfetti. He tried to get it ahead for Nemesnikov, who wasn't expecting it. Goes right to the Blues. They'll send it ahead and off the stick of Toropchenko and down inside that Winnipeg end. Hellebuck rolling around far side for Fleury. He's been strong tonight in his second game of this series. To the near side, he's had to be. The Jets have been down to 5D since the first period. Dumped inside that Blues end. Velarde rolls off a check. Velarde back in behind the net. Velarde bouncing puck. Scraped away from his stick by Sundqvist. Grabbed by Leddy. Velarde stays on it. Came out in front. Shoots. Stopped by Binnington. Oh, excellent second effort by Gabriel Velarde. And the puck found him. He darted back out in front from that goal line and tried to beat Binnington along the ice. And Binnington, somewhat awkward on that when he got back up, made the save with the stick above the ice and got a right pad on it. Excellent chance for the Jets.
Yeah, Velarde just doesn't give up on this below the goal line. Nick Leddy's got a couple of steps on him, but Velarde just disrupts him first, gets a whack in on the stick, kind of forces Leddy's body to turn a little bit, then one more stick check by Velarde. Now he's got space to come out in front. I think he kind of fans on this shot, but that's almost what makes it work for him.
Blues send it around the far side, put off the boards and out towards center ice. Sundqvist will go after it. He moved it ahead. Bush Namath across the line. Bumped off the puck by Lowry. Winnipeg will outlet it near side for Kyle Connor. Cross ice pass on the tape there for Lowry. Chucks inside the zone. Back for Connor. Darts right in. Shooting! And it's gloved down by Binnington. Off the rush. He'll hang on for a whistle. We haven't seen a lot of that for the Winnipeg Jets tonight. 16:59 remaining in this third period. 3-1 St. Louis.
Some line adjustments as well for the second straight period for the Winnipeg Jets. Adam Lowry in the middle between Kyle Connor and Alex Iafallo, and then you got Nito Niederreiter on the left with Barron in the middle and Velarde on the right, and then Nemesnikov, Ehlers, and Perfetti still together.
Winnipeg will win the draw. Back toward the line. Neil Pion, side of the slot, popped off the shin pad there, and Kyle Connor darting after the puck is Iafallo. Iafallo will keep it inside the zone. Marches into where the corner, back in behind the net for Lowry. Far side for Connor. Connor trying to throw it back out in front. It scraped off a couple of sticks, came back toward the line. Winnipeg will try to hold it, they do. Snapped around back in behind the net. Iafallo back toward the line here for Pionk. He'll go D to D on a line change. Sandberg swings in, shoots the puck. That goes off a body, grabbed again, and backhanded by Sundqvist out towards center ice for Braden Shen. And he'll chaperone it down inside that Winnipeg end and then head off on a line change.
More pressure from Winnipeg. St. Louis doing everything they can to take away the middle of the ice. So Adam Lowry tries a sharp angle shot, or Kyle Connor does, to try to get that thing out in front. Adam Lowry nearly gets the deflection.
Puck is rimmed hard around the boards. Winnipeg can't hold the line. Backpedaling back inside his own zone. DeMello along the boards on the far side for Appleton. Tumbled back in with a wrist shot inside that Blues end. He'll go after it, skirt off the boards, take another body check. There's Joseph to help out, put it back toward the line. Sandberg twisting the wrong way, tried to keep it in desperately, could not. Back out towards center ice. Here's the reload. Tapped ahead for Appleton, passed it and clicked. Volk now out of his own zone to the near side at center ice. He'll shuttle that puck down inside that Winnipeg end. Hellebuck out of his net to leave it for Luke Shen. Runs it around to the far side. Stopped by Faxa. Now for Walker into where the corner on the far side. Walker scraped off the puck, and then Faxa grabbed that. Tried to get it back toward the line. Hopped over the stick of Ryan Suter. Racing the puck back inside that Blues end. Good body check there by one of the Jets. And Perfetti freed up the puck, turning his heelers from behind the net, and he ripped a shot in close along the near side to him, and it's off Binnington and down inside that Winnipeg end it goes. Jets will grab it again. Luke Shen up along the boards and out towards center ice. Faxa will try to get it back in and did. Good chance for Nikolai Ehlers. Winnipeg needs something to go here. They're down by 2. Under 15 minutes remaining in this third period. Swain through that neutralized flurry. Across the line to the near side, taken on the back end by Niederreiter. He's double-teamed. Stays on the puck. He put it down low for Barron. Barron will squirrel away from the check. Put it back around to the near side. Velarde will hustle after it. It's taken out of harm play by Parayko up along the boards, but he gave it away. Niederreiter after it again. It's taken off his stick by Thomas and then skated out towards center ice by Buchnevich. One-on-one. Buchnevich, a pass to himself, goes in, shoot! Stopped by Hellebuck. Excellent shave off his shoulder. Back the other way comes Barron. This game is opened up. Barron strides inside that Blues end. Barron back in behind the net. Barron on the far side for Velarde. Velarde tapped it back in behind the net for Barron. Barron working against a couple of Blues. Protects the puck, put it back out in front, and it split the D and slides all the way back down inside that Jets end.
First time Winnipeg very nearly had a look in the middle ice, but Morgan Barron forced that turnover below the goal line. Niederreiter parked himself right in front of Binnington. Pass just missed.
Kyle Connor to the near side for Iafallo. Shuttles the puck in, shoots, stop, rebound, and the putback by Lowry is off a skate of Neighbors. Neighbors will carry it into where the corner, try to eject it out. It stays in. Binnington comes out of his net, rolls it around to the near side for Falk. Another good chance for Winnipeg. Out towards center ice, and Shen will shoot that over the glass into the seats for a souvenir tonight. 13 and a half remaining in this third period. Winnipeg is coming. There is some desperation and urgency in their game. St. Louis leads it by 2 at 3-1. Back after these, you're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey. Game 7 on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97, 680 CJOB.
You can now get your local news from 680 CJOB instantly on Amazon Alexa. Just add CJOB to your flash briefings on any Alexa device and say,
Alexa, play me the news.
It's that easy.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Got pain? Meet the Manitoba Physiotherapy Association, a professional organization fostering excellence in practice, education, and research. With over 500 licensed physiotherapists and physiotherapy students in the province, the goal of MPA is to advance the profession of physiotherapy and to improve the health of Manitobans. So when you visit your physiotherapist, you can rest assured that you'll have received the highest standard of care. And if you don't already have a physiotherapist, you can learn more and find one at mbphysio.org.
It's Jacuzzi Manitoba's 25th anniversary. 25% off jacuzzi hot tubs and swim spas. Get a 4-person jacuzzi hot tub for just $69.90. Or a 7-person jacuzzi hot tub loaded with jets and LED lights for just $10,990. And swim spas starting under $27,000. Plus 25% off in-stock massage chairs and saunas. And 0% financing is available. Over 100 hot tubs in stock and on sale right now at Jacuzzi Manitoba, 1580 St. Mary's Road or 411 Madison Street.
Hey, this is Logan Stanley, and you're listening to Winnipeg Jets Hockey with Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton on 680 CJOB.
And Winnipeg Jets Hockey brought to you in part by JS Furniture, Needham Diamonds, and the Manitoba Physiotherapy Association. Neutralized face-off right at center ice. Broberg will flip it inside the Winnipeg end. Grabbed and settled down by Luke Shen to the near side for Fleury. Tried to get it out. Carried right back in, though, by Walker. Deposited into the corner. Hard rim around the boards there by Shen. Onto the stick, Tony Nato. Up along the boards for Appleton. Rink wide to the near side. Settled down by Fleury. Out towards center ice. Bouncing puck. Winnipeg can't get that to settle down for them. And it's exhausted again out towards center ice. Sent right back in by Fleury. Now a lead pass. Walker tried to split the D. Sways away from the check. Takes a hard body check on the far side as he ambled toward the far side boards by Pionk. And Pionk will come away with the puck. Exit stage left for a line changes. Nathan Walker. 12:45 remaining third period. 3-1 St. Louis. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Here they come. Lowry across the line. Lowry on the far side for Connor. Connor swings away from traffic, moves in, shoots. And that went off a body and just wide to the near side. Iafallo was standing there. He wanted the rebound. It just eluded his stick. Out towards center ice. Dumped back in by St. Louis. Pionk. Lead pass. Goes by everybody. Parayko at his own line to snatch that back inside his own zone for Cam Fowler. Fowler stopped dead in front of his own net. Now swayed back in behind his own goal. Rolled it around behind his own net for Parayko. Back for Fowler onto the far side. Couple of hard strides. Indirect on the far side there for Sundqvist. He takes a beating from Luke Shin, but got the puck ahead to Neighbors. He'll snap it inside that Winnipeg end. 8 minutes have expired in this third period. 12 minutes to go. Winnipeg will steal a puck in front of their own net. Hard off the boards with some authority by Connor out towards center ice. Lowry will follow up. Two Blues engaging on him. Lowry at the end of a shift. And Winnipeg will poke the puck back inside that Blues end.
Man, that Lowry line, 2 shifts in a row with some good looks. Just nothing getting through.
Joseph on the far side, speeds inside, eludes his check again. There of Neil Pionk. He tried to throw the hip check on him, came back to the line. Broberg slap shot, that went wide, and it tumbles off the top of the dasher boards into the meshing. And out of play it goes. 11:26 remaining in this third period. 3-1 St. Louis. Winnipeg Jets Hockey brought to you in part by Reliable Heating and Air Conditioning, Prairie Battery, and Jacuzzi Manitoba.
Yeah, this Kyle Connor shot ends up hitting Adam Lowry. He goes right to the net front after making a really nice play on the zone entry to get himself in space and knock it over to Kyle Connor on the right side. And Lowry goes right to the front of the net, and Connor tries to pick that short side, but it hits Lowry.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck, came back toward the line. Held there on the far side by Broberg. Put into where the corner. Winnipeg will come away with that. Niederreiter to the near side. Arcs off the boards. Put back inside his own zone as he didn't like the read. Now DeMello to the near side for Barron. Softly sent down inside that Blues end. Broberg goes after it. Takes a push check there from Velarde. Winnipeg to the near side, and it's pulled off the wall. Pinching down by Fleury. Threw it toward the net. Glove down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 11:01 remaining in the third. Blues by 2.
And I like that play by Fleury. He's down the wall, and he sees he's got 2 big bodies in both Niederreiter and Velarde right at that net front. So try to throw it in there and see if they can't either get a stick on it or it goes off a shin pad. But Bennington's able to get his glove kind of right in the middle of those 2 players and snag that thing.
So 11:01 remaining in this third. 3-1 St. Louis. Nemesnikov will take the draw to the right of Bennington. And the Blues will win it. And they discard it back out towards center ice. Winnipeg and Sandberg to the near side for Nikolai Ehlers. He scoots down inside that zone down along the boards. Got double teamed in to help up Perfetti. It's then snatched again by Nemesnikov. Turned and fired from the blue line to the near side. Long way out. And handled rather easily by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 10:44 remaining third period. Blues by 2.
Nikolai Ehlers trying to get there. He was part of the 2-on-2 puck battle low in the zone off the entry that Winnipeg ultimately ends up winning. And then Nemestikov forces a turnover from Pavel Buchnevich by the hash marks. And Ehlers sees that. He tries to get to the front of the net, but the shot by Nemestikov gets there just before he can. So a clean look for Bennington.
Back toward the line, Sandberg on a face-off win for Pionk, pushed in toward the slot, off the stick of Iafolo, gathered up again on the far side by Connor, snap toward the net, stop, rebound, and Winnipeg just couldn't get it to a stick. And it's shuttled back out towards center ice again by Toropchenko. Winnipeg, long lead pass, Lowry across the line, Lowry sways into where the corner, put it back in behind the net, Iafolo back for Lowry, side of the net, swatting at it, and a backhand shot by Connor, just missed. He just missed. Great chances for Winnipeg. They're all over the Blues here in this third period. Neighbors to the near side. Tried to get it out. Got a little bit of help now from Shen. And then again exited outside the zone by the Blues. Here comes Winnipeg to turn it north. Kyle Connor, the game, trying to get it on his stick. He moved in, shoots, and it's stopped by Bennington. And then one of the Jets crashed the net in Morgan Barron. And Bennington got a bit of a shot on that. And everybody will separate. I don't think it was intentional. And we'll get a stoppage and an ice cleaning coming up. Just under 10 minutes remaining in this third period. 9:57 to be precise remaining in this final frame. St. Louis leading 3-1. You're listening to Play Now Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97, 680 CJOB.
Hi, I'm Mike. And I'm Brett. At Mid-Canada Fasteners, we try to be your one-stop shop for all of your construction needs.
We have a large inventory of threaded rod, strut and strut fittings, as well as construction-rated ladders and sawhorses, janitorial supplies, rigging supplies, and personal safety equipment.
So come by and see what we have to offer. Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
You know what goes well with pizza from Santa Lucia Pizza. They've been the leaders in quality since 1971, and now they just keep winning award after award after award. So, sounds like they know a thing or two about making tasty pizza. How about this? When you're getting ready on game day, choose one of Santa Lucia Pizza's many specials or combos and find out why time and time again it's listed as Manitoba's favorite pizza.
Santa Lucia Pizza. It's all about the sauce.
There's nothing quite like the playoffs. And there's no better way to enjoy the games in the comfort of your own home.
Top shelf, baby!
JS Furniture wants you to break away with these amazing deals. Save up to 40% off 4-model recliners and select reclining sofas, so you can watch every hit, shot, and selling. JS Furniture, serving you for over 50 years. 1725 Ellis Avenue in Winnipeg, and now open in their new location in Portage la Prairie. Visit furnitureandmore.ca.
You are locked and loaded to Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in this third period. 3-1 St. Louis. We do it to the right of Bennington. Nemestikov's going to take the draw against Thomas. Thomas wins it cleanly back into where the corner on the near side for Broberg. And he'll flush it out towards center ice and bounce it inside that Winnipeg end. Sandberg sways away from some forechecking there. Buchnevich cast it ahead on the far side. Here comes Winnipeg and across the line. Into where the corner. Pionk will throw it for Nemestikov. Put it back in behind the net. Twisting off a check there is Volk. Back in behind the goal to get some help from Broberg. Shoveled around on the far side for Kyrou. Kyrou protects and will get it out towards center ice for Thomas. Weaves his way inside the Winnipeg end. Thomas going wide. Didn't shoot the puck. Thomas now into where the corner. He'll rim it around the far side for Kyrou. Back toward the line for Leddy. Leddy back again on the far side for Kyrou. Turns and fires. And he just missed. It came tumbling around to the near side. Suter can't hold the line. Does. Now for a second time. As Winnipeg tried to snap it off the boards, he knocked it out of the air. And into where the corner it goes. Winnipeg on the retrieve. Sandberg's fighting for the puck. Back up along the board. Suter will hold the line again. Back in behind the net for Walker. Walker will spin it around to the near side. Coming back to where the puck is Nikolai Ehlers. Sooner stepped inside of him. Shoots the puck from the corner as he snatched the puck that went off the side of the net. Gathered up again. Leddy, far side for Walker. Walker shoots, and it hit Hellebuck. He made the save. Gathered up into where the slot, swaying away from some traffic, was Pionk. Handed it back off for Ehlers. He'll flip it high, almost hit the scoreboard, and it bounces down at center ice. And chaperoned back inside the Blues end by St. Louis and Ryan Suter.
Frustrating shift there for the Winnipeg Jets. Just couldn't get that puck out. Spent most of that shift defending Nikolai Ehlers. A couple of opportunities along the wall. Just couldn't get that puck to settle on his stick.
8:20 remaining in this third period. Blues by 2. Winnipeg out of their own zone. Moved in with a nice backhand by Luke Schenn on the near side for Appleton. Stick lifted by Parayko, but Appleton marches down along the boards. Can't get to the puck. Neighbors does. Now for Luke Schenn. Now inside that Winnipeg end. It's bounced around. DeMello rolled it around for Luke Schenn to the far side. Schenn inside his own corner. Long lead pass now for Appleton at center ice. Tried to knock off a check there. Stays onside. Got the puck just a few feet inside the zone, but it's kicked back up by Parayko. Break wide pass off the stick there of Barron. Barron charges after it. He got tripped up by Neighbors. No call. They're going to let the play. Swinging back through that neutral ice is Thomas. Thomas across the line. Curls up. Plays it into where the corner of the near side. Put it back in behind the net. Intercepted by Pionk. Tried to escape a couple of checks now for Fleury. Up along the boards to the near side. Falk will stop that. Fleury will grab that again. Send it all the way down. Icing will be the call against the Jets. Couple things to report here. Hi to all the farmers that are putting their seeding in and doing all that work right now. We wish you the best of a season, safe and prosperous bumper crop this year. And hey, I look back at the Game 7 game last night between Dallas and Colorado. Dallas scored 4 goals in the third period to win that hockey game.
Yeah, and for Winnipeg, it just feels like they're incredibly close at 5-on-5. They had a number of great opportunities even in this third period. St. Louis has kind of got back to their game a little bit in the last couple of shifts to kind of make Winnipeg come 200 feet.
Back toward the line, Broberg winds up, doesn't shoot. Sways to the far side, moves to the east. And then rims it around to the near side corner. Toropchenko took a hard body check. In along the wall by Fleury. No call. Winnipeg came away with the puck. Everybody gets up. Fleury now with the puck. Fleury at center ice will snap it in. It rolled around back in behind the net. 2 out the handle there for Bennington. Back toward the line. It's gobbled up by Sandberg into where the corner for Kyle Connor. Connor back in behind the net for Lowry. Lowry controls the puck back into where the corner for Connor. Back toward the line for DeMello. DeMello back for Connor. Slap shot through traffic. And he just missed. Kept in here by Sandberg. His shot from the near side. Went off a shin pad and wide. Gathered up again by Winnipeg. High slot. Sandberg shoot. Stop. Rebound. Went off a skate. And again, it's flushed back out towards center ice by the Blues. 6:20 remaining in this third period. Winnipeg will fall back inside their own zone. 3-1 for the Blues. To the near side. Niederreiter with some speed. Cross the line. Shoot. Stop. Rebound up in the air. And it's back in behind the net. Now DeMello at the side of the goal, trying to get a chance to put it back toward the front of the net. That was broken up. Emerging out of his own zone again is Neighbors. Neighbors to center ice. And he'll deposit the puck down inside that Winnipeg end. Neighbors goes back after it. One of the Jets or one of the Blues has lost their stick. Back with the line. Suter's shot. That goes wide. Drifts into where the near side corner. Pulled off the wall here by Niederreiter. Niederreiter spinning inside his own zone. Rink wide to the far side for Luke Schenn. Schenn waits for a line change for Winnipeg. Paddle with a backhand out towards center ice. Blarney knocked off the puck by Leddy. Now moved ahead for Kyrou. Too far for him. It'll be icing against the Blues.
And does it ever seem that everything that Winnipeg puts toward the St. Louis net in this period is going off of a skate? Like, Adam Lowry has the great second chance opportunity from just outside the top of the crease. Nope, Jake Neighbors' skate is there. A couple of opportunities also in the last couple of minutes where Winnipeg's tried to put that puck to the front of the net. It's gone off a skate and away from a Jet stick.
St. Louis rimmed around on the far side. Pionk will hold the line into where the corner goes. Suter rimmed around, held by Pionk. His shot stopped by Bennington. Grabbed again, curling into where the corner. Suter up along the boards. But not out. In to help out is Robert Thomas. Stops and starts into where the corner. Up along the boards, Buchnevich. And thrust off the boards and safely out towards center ice it goes.
Yeah, St. Louis more than happy just to win those battles in their own zone, get it to the red line and dump it into the Winnipeg zone.
Pionk will drive it down inside that Blues end. Rolled around to the near side. Centered out in front. Ehlers a shot. Stop. Rebound. And Nemestikov was tied up with Falk as the puck found Ehlers in the slot. Good chance for Winnipeg again. Sent down inside that Winnipeg end. Sandberg. Winnipeg's had 5 defensemen since the first period. A lot of minutes here on the 5. They're all playing. DeMello out towards center ice. Too far for Lowry. DeMello follows up to the near side for Sandberg. Fans are trying to help out at center ice. It's dumped in. Bounced into where the corner of the far side. Broberg up along the wing. Toropchenko tried to get it out. Kept in by DeMello. Trying to pass the puck to the near side. Broken up. DeMello holds the line again. Too many Blues are in on him. And Toropchenko will send it all the way down with some help from Faxa. And that's going to be an icing call against the Blues. Stay tuned for the game's 3 stars for Shine Dental. Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with shinedental.ca.
On another great opportunity for Nikolai Ehlers in the slot. He had the rush chance in the second period that just grazed off of Binnington and over the net. And this one in front, he's just got somebody all over him. He's not able to get that clear shot off, even with Nemestikov going to the net.
Emerging out of his own zone, Toropchenko. And just softly gets it inside the Winnipeg end. Fleury, long lead pass for Iafallo, too far for him. Icing washed out. Stopped by Binnington back in behind his own net. Now a long lead pass for the Blues. Screen inside the Winnipeg end. Buchnevich to net. Shoots and he just put it wide. Buchnevich gathers up his own rebound into where the corner on the far side. Pionkin on him. Rimmed around to the near side. Pinching down is Parayko. Spills it around to the far side. Skipping after it is Thomas back toward the line. It's held there on the far side by Fowler. Into where the corner for Buchnevich. He protects the puck. Buchnevich still with it. Spins it around with a wrist shot to the near side. Charging after it is Parayko. Couldn't hold the line. And it spits back out towards center ice. 3:20 remaining in this third period. Blues are in front by 2 at 3-1 to the near side. Parayko flopped down inside that Winnipeg end. And that'll be an icing call against the Blues. Shots on goal 23-20 now in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. Shots on goal totals for Dr. J's Men's Sexual Health Clinic. Need to perform better in the bedroom? See the top-rated doctor on Google and rate MD. Visit Dr. J at WinnipegClinic.com.
Yeah, it looks like Connor Hellebuck's going to go to the bench here, or Winnipeg's going to take their timeout.
Well, there's still a lot of time. 3 minutes, 14 seconds to get a couple of goals. The 50-50 jackpot. The total is $1.9 million. If you won, you would take home $975,000.
Just an unbelievable number when you think about it.
It's been a progressive since the series started. They've also had daily prizes, and one was drawn earlier in this period for $25,000. So check your tickets if you have them. First off, hold all tickets, and then check your tickets.
Yes. And now for Winnipeg, obviously back in game 1, they scored off of a set play off the face-off. And you'd like to think that over the course of this timeout, they've likely talked about a couple of things, a couple of different looks that maybe they're going to look for. They're going to load right up here, which is not unexpected with the goaltender out.
Velarde will take the draw. Ehlers, Perfetti, Fleury, Pionk, and Connor out there. We do it to the left of Binnington. 3-1 St. Louis, 3:14 remaining in this third period. The time is nigh for Winnipeg to score a goal.
Gabriel Velarde 3 for 5 in the dot so far in this game. They're taking this one to his strong side. He's going to have it. If he wins it on the backhand side, he'll have Nikolai Ehlers and Kyle Connor right over there. Sorting something out at the timekeeper bench here. The notepad's out. Usually in this series it's been to sort out penalties, but right now it's
has to be about time, right?
I would think so, but it was just off of an icing, so usually those are pretty straightforward.
Well,
but Winnipeg will take every second that they can get, especially if they add time, that's for sure.
Well, they're on the phone down there. trying to sort something out here. And another sellout crowd, 15,225. Now we're ready to go.
Adam Lowry was about to come over, and whatever issue it was, they got it sorted. Maybe it's players on the ice?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. So Brayden Schenn has to come off. So they must have looked at the video to see who was on the ice. And Robert Thomas will take the draw against Gabe Vilardi. Fans are on their feet. Scramble face-off wasn't done fairly. We do it again.
It's a pretty good catch by the off-ice officials there on the players on the ice, too. It's an important thing.
And Vilardi tries to tie up. Neighbors came away with a puck to the near side for Fowler. Backhanded off the boards. Net is empty, remember. To the near side, Joseph. He takes a pounding, but he sent it down, dribbling inside on Winnipeg end. Here's Kyle Connor to wind it up. To the near side for Nikolai Ehlers. Cross the line, shoot. That went off a body. Ehlers trying to get it back toward the line. Intercepted again by Joseph. One-handed out towards center ice. And then the shot by Thomas toward the empty net. That one wide. Winnipeg will gather it back up again. 2:45 remaining, third period. 3-1 St. Louis. Into where the middle for Neil Pionk. Indirect to the far side. Here's Winnipeg across the line. Snapped around with a backhand by Connor into where the corner. Sent off the window and all the way down. Icing will be the call against St. Louis as that came off the stick of Justin Falk.
Yeah, Winnipeg just needs to get possession. That's kind of the first thing. St. Louis has done a good job, especially the last 5 or 6 minutes, of making things really difficult on Winnipeg and in the blue zone to get any sort of possession. It's kind of just been throw the puck towards the net, which is fine, but you'd like to get some second chance opportunities too.
Jets won the draw. D-to-D in the far side. Pionk up top now for Sandberg. Back for Pionk. Cast into the corner. Nemestikov back for Pionk. To the near side again for Sandberg. Went toward the net. Right pad save made by Bennington. Winnipeg first touch on that. Iafallo back in behind the net for Lowry. Lowry sends it around to the far side. Nemestikov. Nemestikov comes out of the corner. Shoot. That went wide. Rebound on the side of the net. Chopped in netted is Iafallo. Had a stick tied up. Sent back for the line. It's held by the Jets. Far side. Pionk. Now again for Nemestikov. Moves in. Shoots. Score! Skated in with 1:55 remaining in this third period. The Jets are within one. Nemestikov with another big goal in this series. It's 3-2 St. Louis.
And what did we just talk about? It was possession. Winnipeg finally able to work that thing around and make St. Louis defend a little bit. And Nemestikov, you think of all the chances he's had in this game, finally he gets one to go, and he's just putting this towards the net, and I think it goes off of Suter, who is kind of backing in toward his goaltender. Goes off of him and past Bennington. And there's still time here. 1:55 to go. Winnipeg within one.
Second of the series for Vladislav Nemestikov. Hellebuck gets back in the net. That was a 6-on-5 goal for Winnipeg. It comes at 18:05. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. 1:55 still to go in this third period. 3-2 St. Louis. And Winnipeg win the draw. Here they come marching in again. They'll shoot it in. Ripped around to the far side. Fowler goes after it. It's knocked into where the corner. Helped along here. Fowler for Thomas. Rolled around to the near side. Parayko. Hellebuck is still in the net. Now picked up again and advanced to Neighbors. He'll shoot it inside that Winnipeg end. The Jets will settle it down. 1:35 remaining in this third period. Game 7, 3-2 St. Louis. Hellebuck to the bench for the extra attacker. Swain back inside his own zone. Here's Kyle Connor. Here we go. Winnipeg a 6-on-5. Far side for Neil Pionk. He beetles inside the zone. Rolled it around to the near side. Sandberg stopped that. Far side Pionk. Back into where the corner for Vilardi. He'll leave it for Ehlers. Out in front. A shot by Perfetti. They're banging away at it. And Bennington, I think, holds the line and keeps it from crossing the goal line.
Oh, what a chance. Perfetti punched over, knows he just had a glorious look. Winnipeg gets a nice clean entry on this, and they're just working it around. It almost looked like the Iafallo goal that tied the game in game 1, where it's kind of a against the grain play, and the crowd's going nuts here. This might have crossed. Now the challenge is going to be whether Perfetti shoved Bennington. with the stick.
And where the whistle went too, right?
Right, exactly. So there's going to be a number of things here. Now the smart thing for Winnipeg is, regardless of what the ruling is here, they're using this time. Davis Payne is over there chatting. Now the officials have the headsets on, so we'll take a look here. Now, of course, this is the big challenge, right? Is you need to know when the whistle went. You need to know definitively that puck crossed. You need to see it. First glimpse, I didn't think I really saw anything. No, it just kind of sat on the goal line.
Yeah, I don't think it crossed.
No, it was close. It popped free, but I don't think it ever came out.
It would have had it not hit the shaft of Binnington's stick.
Yeah,
it would have crossed.
I guess the challenge would be, can you discern if that puck is sitting on top of Binnington's pad when he gets spun into the net? Because it's close there, but other than that, I don't really know. And I don't know if there's video to show that puck definitively in. You'd have to see almost from that crossbar cam down. But I mean, obviously Cole Perfetti and the Winnipeg Jets had a review kind of go against them earlier in this series, and this one might be even tougher.
So they're still deliberating, and now we're going to get something concise.
On further video review, the call on the ice is confirmed. We have no goal.
And you knew the reaction was going to be predictable from the Jet fans. 1:06 remaining, third period, 3-2. St. Louis. Winnipeg will get a face-off inside that Blues end.
Yeah, like, the thing that's close is Binnington's right leg, where I think the puck is lodged, gets into the net, but his skate kind of sits on that back camera, so it never really goes further back into the net. So I don't know. Crowd's looking up at the scoreboard. They all think it's in, but Winnipeg's just got to focus on this draw.
Travel face-off. Here's Winnipeg. Kyle Connor. Connor in the slot. Connor back in behind the net. Threw it out in front. Never got it toward the net. Slapped around the boards and all the way down it goes. This will be icing against the Blues. 52.5 seconds remaining in the third period. 3-2 St. Louis.
Yeah, and the crowd obviously still thinking that one crossed. Connor just trying to use his speed to see if he could get free in the slot. Couldn't, went around the net and tried to find that centering play.
Velarde will take the draw against Braden Shen. To the left of Binnington. A fight to the finish here. Shen wins it cleanly. Fowler slapped it around the boards. Off a stick, all the way down, over the Jets' net. And icing will be the call as Buchnevich shuttled that puck down out of his own zone. Another face-off with 47 seconds left in this third period.
Yeah, Winnipeg's going to flip sides for the face-off. They had been doing it on the right side of the ice. Adam Lowry's going to have to adjust. He's got a shot blocker on that right foot that he's got to retie. Kyle Connor pointing it out to him before the face-off.
Lowry will take the draw against Thomas. To the right this time of Binnington. It's one into the corner. Grabbed by Parayko. Flipped high out towards center ice. Knocked down with the glove of Neil Pionk to the near side for Kyle Connor. Darting through that neutral ice. Chugging inside the zone. Shoots. Kicked away by Binnington. Rebound back out in front. It's sent back toward the line. Ehlers can't hold the line. And it popped out towards center ice. 25 seconds to go. Ehlers will shoot it in. Rims around back in behind the net. After it goes full. Up along the boards. Knocked down by Connor. Back in behind the net. Slapped around the boards. Ehlers turns and fires from the point. That went off a skate. 13 seconds to go. Winnipeg trying to get it out of a pile. Velarde back in behind the net. Velarde back for the line. Ehlers moves in, shoots, and he fanned on that. Got it back again. Far side, quick shot. Deflected in front. They score! Cole Perfetti with the deflection. 1.6 seconds left in the third period. The Jets have 1.6 was academic. And the Winnipeg Jets scored 2 unanswered in the third period and tie it. And for the first time in this series, we will go to overtime.
I am speechless, which is not a good thing for radio, but unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets. Just no quit. There hasn't been any quit all year, and they found a way here in the third period to get themselves to overtime. Just unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets.
Perfetti is second of the game, third of the postseason in this series. Connor and Ehlers with the assists. 19:58 unofficially the time of the goal to tie it at 3. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. Winnipeg with 2, 6 on 5 goals late in the third period to tie it at 3, and we will go to overtime for the first time in this series. Unbelievable here tonight. Winnipeg saving the best for last, and high drama in downtown in that third period. Kyrou opened the scoring his third from Parayko and Buchnevich at 1:10. Joseph added on with his first at 7:16. 2-0 St. Louis after 1. Perfetti scores in the power play. His first of 2 on the night. Second of the postseason from Connor and Pionk at 11:41. Fax in the second, then restored the 2-goal lead at 19:25. His first from Walker. And it was 3-1 after 2 for the Blues. And then Winnipeg at 18:05, Nemesnikov his second. 6 on 5, that was the goal that got Winnipeg within 1. Perfetti then ties it at 19:58. His second of the night, third of the postseason. Connor and Ehlers collect the assists. And Winnipeg going to overtime. And outside the whiteout party, the plaza inside, it's just absolutely electric and pandemonium here in the city. Winnipeg out shooting now through regulation. St. Louis 28-20. And the power plays, Winnipeg 1 for 1. And St. Louis 0 for 1 in regulation. Overtime intermission report is coming up next with Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gilliwhitechuck. The score, the Winnipeg Jets 3, the St. Louis Blues 3. Overtime in a few minutes on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
No 3-on-3 or shootouts to settle the score now. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Well, when the Winnipeg Jets pulled Connor Hellebuck with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the third period, trailing 3-1. I'm not sure every one of the 15,225 in the building thought that a comeback of incredible proportions was possible. As we welcome you back to the third intermission, the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues tied at 3 as the Jets score not one, but 2 6-on-5 goals in the final 2 minutes. And also included in there was literally a knob of a goal stick preventing a puck from rolling over the line that would have tied the game, but the Winnipeg Jets never gave up. And Dwayne Gilavoychuk, it looked like St. Louis had all the answers to nurse this one home, but they just were not able to do so, and the credit for that goes to the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, that never kill, never die mentality they've had all year. They've won a lot of games late in the periods, tied a lot of games throughout the season, but they just weren't able to get any puck luck in the third period in the latter parts where they needed to get some, and all of a sudden things started to change. You could just see, and when they pulled the goalie, they had ample opportunities, and the crowd started getting excited, a little bit more excited. They started winning some foot races, and they just had their patience in the pose with the puck, and they found a way to get some goals past Binnington, and now you hope that maybe he's sinking a little bit heading into overtime here.
Yeah, the shots 14-4 for the Winnipeg Jets in that third period, and probably for about the last 10 minutes or so, it was circle the wagons time for the St. Louis Blues. So how did the Jets do this, Dwayne Gilavoychuk?
Well, I think one thing is that they finally started getting pucks in deep and winning some puck battles along the boards in the offensive zone. And then they had some composure with the puck. You've seen Cole Perfetti, handle the puck a little bit. Kyle Connor handled the puck a little bit. When they didn't have a play, they'd look at the net. If there was any kind of chaos in front of the net, they'd put that puck on the net. If they didn't, they went low to high with it, D to D. The Ds, got pucks on net. There's all of a sudden they started to play with some pose with the puck and just find different ways to generate a scoring chance. And it just started to wear down St. Louis a little bit. And then you could just tell Winnipeg was getting more and more confidence with it. Even before they pulled their goalie, they had some chances to score, but just couldn't do it. But this is a team you can just tell that, never say die. But the unsung hero here so far tonight is Cole Perfetti. It's been one of his best games here in the series for sure.
Yeah, the sweet hands of Cole Perfetti. I don't know which, clearly the one with 1.6 seconds is the most significant. But that power play redirect in the second period, that takes elite skill.
It does, and it's everybody's been to a hockey practice before, but that's the type of play that the guys work on late after practice when the drills are done and defensemen are taking this like shots from the point. You work on that, but that's a skill to be able to turn your stick on your forehand side and be able to deflect it off your forehand. Usually you're doing a backhand from there, you turn your body, but he was able to do it facing the play and turn his blade down and be able to put it up over the shoulder of Binnington. That's a high skilled play.
It's kind of interesting that we thought that the Dallas comeback and the performance by Mikko Rantanen was one for the ages last night. But the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues have authored a script that is worthy of that. And I'll tell you what, if the Winnipeg Jets find a way to win this in overtime, I hope that all of the cross beams and eye bars are bolted securely to this building.
Yeah, I think it's going to be loud for the players to come out, and the fans, I'm sure, will show their appreciation that they got to where it is now. But you're right, if the Winnipeg Jets do find a way to win this hockey game, win this series, this place is going to go crazy. This whiteout's going to turn into something bigger than anybody's ever seen before.
You have to give credit to the Winnipeg Jets, not only for never say die, but also to do this with a very shortened bench. The time on ice for some of their premier players, you look at Neil Pionk, he's at 29 minutes and 18 seconds. Dylan Samberg at 27:04. That's because Josh Morrissey had to leave the game about 10 minutes in after he took a hard hit from Oscar Sundqvist. He only took 4 shifts in the game and played a total of 2 minutes and 9 seconds. But he hung around for a bit, tried to take another shift, and then that was it. He went to the room and did not come back. And then you look even at the ice time for people like Cole Perfetti, 18 and a half minutes. Kyle Connors just a touch under 22 minutes. There are people logging an incredible amount of ice time. Hayden Fleury, 21:45. That would be a good 8 to 10 minutes more than he plays in a game under normal circumstances.
But he sure excelled. He's done really well to step up and come into this series, come into this game, and be able to be a big part of it. He's skated a lot of pucks out of pressure. He's been able to add that offensive upside off the offensive blue line for this Winnipeg Jets team.
Kristen O'Mell, the host of the CJOB Sports Show, joining us now. The first ever Game 7 in Winnipeg NHL playoff history. Wow.
Oh, my God.
You know, there'll be about 50,000 people that will say they were at this game.
It's just incredible. Like, I had the whole post-game story written, and it's gone. It's gassed. It's crazy that this just happened, right? Ehlers whiffs on the shot, and I'm thinking, that's it. Right, and then he's passing, and I'm like, there's no time to do that, right? And then just a quick one touch, it's in the net. I see the time, there's 2 seconds. I just got my head in my hands. Like, I just cannot believe what we just witnessed. I'm still shaking from it, honestly. It's crazy.
Ehlers to make the play that he did, but also Vlad Nemesnikov, after those 2 great chances about the 2 and 9 minute marks of the second period, to stay with it, to have the mental strength to score that goal that gets them to within striking distance.
And that goal, I think, hit 2 different Blues to go in, so they get some puck luck on that play finally, and then just to stick with it. Ehlers has been bobbling it all night. He's been missing the net. I think he's had a really bad game, and he comes up with the play to save their season. Perfetti's been awesome. But now they got to bring it home, right? Yes, you got it to overtime. Now you got to keep that momentum going, because it all kind of feels for naught if they end up losing this hockey game.
So, Coach, how does that work? I don't know if you have ever been in a situation like this coaching where you've had that lead, you think you are there, and then all of a sudden 1.6 seconds is left, and along comes the porcupine to spoil the balloon party. How do you regroup from that? What are the leaders or the coaches saying in that St. Louis room right now?
Well, I'm sure the leaders in the room are saying, like we've been the better team tonight. They've had the battle to find a way to get back a game tied. We've got to go out and play what the success we've had today. They were leading this game for, almost 3/4, 7th, 8th of this whole hockey game. Now they've got to come and realize that it's a brand new period. It's a brand new game of hockey. They got to go out and start fresh. They can't think about what's happened in the first 3 periods. They got to go out and win this hockey game the way that they've had success doing. But they've got an uphill battle to climb. They've got a building that's alive now. They've got a team that's got the momentum, the energy. They just got to find a way to keep it simple and use it. But St. Louis has got some guys that can, streaky players can go and shoot the puck and score. Connor Hellebuyck's going to have to be good.
About 20 seconds or so. Bennington and Hellebuyck. Boy, you want to know a mano-a-mano.
In overtime, just like the Four Nations face-off, right? And the one thing for the Jets, all 3 of their goals not on 5-on-5 tonight. So we'll see if they can actually get one here, because it's probably going to have to be to win this game.
Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton standing by with overtime next in Game 7 on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting. Go!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets Gear store locations.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie, because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
It can end quickly, or it can go a while. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
First time in the series, we get overtime. It'll be 5-on-5. Long change for both teams. And Winnipeg getting 2 late goals to send this Game 7 into overtime. Barron will take the draw against Faxa. Settle in. Winnipeg wins the draw. They spray it back inside their own zone. Fleury settles back in behind his own net. He will survey. Oh boy, this place is into it. To the near side for Luke Shen. Into where the middle and off a stick. Flounders down inside that Blues end. Up along the boards in full. Paddled it out towards center ice. Winnipeg will snatch that. Curl back inside their own zone. Shen guarded up along the boards. Now picked up by Barron into where the slot. Barron shoots. Kicked away by Bennington. Flush back out towards center ice. And Winnipeg, as one of the linesmen was falling down over there, steered the puck clear of that and has it back inside their own zone to settle it down.
That Barron play might have been close on the entry, but a great opportunity for Winnipeg early in overtime.
Kyle Connor darts inside the zone on the far side. Shoots. Kicked away by Bennington. Rebound spills into where the corner. Grabbed there by Lowry. Lowry protects the puck back for Connor again. Connor back toward the line. Sandberg will shoot it around back in behind the net. Gathered up by Iafallo. Back toward the line for Pionk. D for Sandberg. Shoots. It's blocked in front. Tumble back in behind the net. Fowler will backhand it around the boards. Hustling in there. Sandberg shoots as he pinched in that stop. Rebound. Back the other way. It's sent ahead. Here's Walker and across the line. He'll drop it for Buchnevich for Fowler. Weak shot toward the net. That went wide. Try to grab that into where the corner is Lowry. He'll go after it. And he will protect the puck. Make a move around his own defenseman. Send it puck back around behind his own net to the near side for Neil Pionk. Long dump in, glove down by Bennington, and sent into where the corner. Parenko will send it around to the far side. In Winnipeg will grab it, put it back in behind the net. They keep it alive, put it back out in front for Petty. Looking for another goal here. He's got 2. Nemestikov was there as well. Fighting for the puck and came back toward the line. Out towards center ice. And in desperation, shot off the boards by Joseph. And down inside that Winnipeg end.
Looked like Perfetti took a shot kind of up high, I think unintentionally.
Nikolai Ehlers dancing toward the side of the net. He's pushed off the puck by Suter. Goes into where the corner full. Back for Suter. Out towards center ice. Nudges it ahead now for Bolduc. Across the line, shoots. And he just missed on the short side. Kept in by Sundqvist. He's pounded against the boards though. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Nemestikov, long shoot in. Glove down by Bennington. And he'll hang on for a whistle. 17:33 remaining in overtime. Tied at 3. Shots on goal, 33-20 now for the Jets.
End of a shift there for Nemestikov on that rush. So he was just trying to put that thing toward the net. Winnipeg can get that offensive zone face-off. But a couple of good looks early for Winnipeg and some good defensive play as well. Winning a couple of battles in the defensive zone to get those efficient breakouts they've been looking for.
Face off to the right of Bennington. Lowry will take the draw. And he wins it toward the far side wall. Broberg got high stick, no Cole. Connor is there as well, fighting for the puck. It squirts into where the high slot grabbed by Buchnevich and backhanded out towards center ice. Sandberg has to turn his skates and go back to retrieve it inside his own zone. He takes a pop there. It's rolled around to the near side. Winnipeg gave it away, though. Back in behind the net. St. Louis did the exact same thing. Sandberg to the near side for Pionk. Out towards center ice. Off of Iafallo. And down it slides inside that Blues end. Ice and washed out. Buchnevich skipped by a check. Over to the far side for Kyrou. For Thomas. Back for Kyrou. Back to the near side. Buchnevich back door. And he just missed. Winnipeg will one-handed back out towards center ice. And down inside that Blues end. And it'll be icing against the Jets.
A couple of tired wingers for the Winnipeg Jets and Kyle Connor and Alex Iafallo out there. So the big face-off coming up here for Morgan Barron. who in the game so far is 3 for 9, but he's going to need to win this one. A big defensive zone draw coming up for Winnipeg.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck. Braden Shen against Barron. Barron will have to get a stick down first. Scramble face off the dot. Winnipeg will punch that into where the corner. Blues go after it, back toward the line for Fowler. Shoots. Hit the instep of Braden Shen's left skate. Winnipeg into where the corner, they go after it. Neighbors takes a hard pounding there, but it's picked up by Braden Shen. Back in behind the net. Back out in front, a quick shot by Parayko off the shoulder of Hellebuck. It grazed there, pounded off the back wall, and out towards center ice it goes. Blues turn for some offensive zone time. Braden Shen will snap it back in. Toropchenko hustles after it into where the corner on the near side. Came away the puck, put it back to the line. Broberg on the far side. Now for Falk. Sways his way into where the corner. Falk back in behind the net. Muscled off the puck. Winnipeg will pick that up, and Velarde, he gave it away out in front. And a shot by Walker, stopped by Hellebuck. Oh, the game was on Walker's stick on a miscue by Winnipeg. And Hellebuck came through with a huge save. And then the puck is dumped the distance, icing against the Jets.
Velarde, I think, tried to go back against the grain here, but didn't have as much room as I think he thought. Luke Shen does a great job to kill the play below the goal line, but thinking that Velarde's just going to keep going up the right wing wall, he lets go of the check. And that's what forces the turnover.
Barron will take the draw against Faxa. To the right of Hellebuck. And Winnipeg will win it. DeMello slides it far side. Chugging through that neutral ice is Niederreiter. Tapped off the boards. Winnipeg wants a change. 15:45 remaining in overtime. We're tied at 3. Broberg had some problems with it. Sorts it out now for Falk. Flipped out towards center ice. Bounced off a body. Back to collect it to the near side here. And it's sent back inside the Winnipeg end by the Blues. Flipped over everybody's head by Pionk. Not enough for icing. Blues want to change. Fans are chanting, "Go Jets, go." Broberg back in behind his own net. Winnipeg with a soft forecheck here. Broberg far side for Kyrou. Kyrou, a couple of hard strides through that neutral ice now. Picks up some speed, crossed over the line. Buchnevich moving in, shoot. It's blocked in front by Pionk. Moved ahead to the near side for Nikolai Ehlers. He'll get it out towards center ice in desperation. Back the other way. Here comes Kyrou moving in, shooting. Stopped by Hellebuck. And he'll dustpan the rebound back in and hang on for a whistle.
Yeah, just a turnover in the neutral zone by the Winnipeg Jets, and St. Louis comes back the other way. Kyrou gets a good look from the top of the circle, but Connor Hellebuck right at the top of that crease, cutting down that angle, takes this one right in the stomach and swallows up that rebound.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. Lowry. Connor, Iafallo, Fleury, and DeMello. Sundqvist will take the draw. Winnipeg will win it. Lowry into where the corner for Fleury up along the board. Sundqvist trying to prevent that from getting out. Into the high slot. Bouncing puck. Swing to the near side. Fowler shoots through traffic. Blocked away by Hellebuck. To the near side. DeMello. DeMello will fashion it up along the boards and down inside. That Blues end. Icing washed out. No. They're going to call icing against the Jets with 14:43 remaining in OT, tied at 3.
Blues have used that intermission to kind of reset themselves and kind of get back on their toes. Winnipeg having to defend the last couple of minutes here. Just want to clean up a couple of things in terms of their puck movement. Their support's been pretty good, but it's just a matter of being able to execute.
Back toward the line, Parayko in a face-off win. Gave it away. Kyle Connor looks around. He darts through that neutral ice now. Jets have some numbers at center ice to the near side now. Beeling into where the corner. Iafallo squeezed out. Buchnevich curls back in behind his own net. Hard off the boards and sends it all the way down. Icing will be the call against St. Louis.
And St. Louis is upset because in the neutral zone, they felt Neil Pionk had a chance to play this puck. But Pionk kind of kept his stick in the air and pivoted as that puck was going by him instead of making a play on it. So that's what they're upset about. Nonetheless, Winnipeg will take the offensive zone draw.
Face off to the right of Binnington. Winnipeg won the draw. Nikolai Ehlers into where the corner shoots and juggled by Binnington from a bad angle, and he makes the stop and will hang on. 14:20 remaining in OT. Now the Winnipeg Jets 4-4 lifetime in overtime in the playoffs. They had one overtime game in the series in 18-19 with St. Louis. They won that game. Kyle Connor scored the overtime winner in that game. Falk back in behind his own net. Hard rimmer on the boards to the near side on a face-off win now for Neighbors. Neighbors will flop it inside the Winnipeg end. Glove down now by Sandberg back in behind his own net. Hard rimmer on the boards. Cole Perfetti will get that out towards center ice and backhanded in. This might be icing. And it is against the Jets.
I think Cole Perfetti was wanting to put a little bit more arc on that. Have it just kind of land in the St. Louis zone, but it kind of stayed a little bit flat on him and ends up taking that hard forward hop. So a few icings here for Winnipeg. They just looking to try to get that on a dump in, but big face-off once again. Every face-off is big in overtime.
Domestikov against Braden Shen to the right of Hellebuck. Who's going to get to it? Snuggerud will go after it. Back in it toward the net. Bounce just wide. What a big Domestikov back in mind his own net. Pionk pulled around far side. Escaping his own zone as Sandberg flipped it ahead, and Ehlers turned the blade of his stick and has it redirect down inside of that Blues end. He heads off at a line change. Exit stage left. And the puck is shot over the boards by the Blues. And is that Braden Shen? Is there going to be a penalty here against the Blues in overtime? Yes, there will be.
Penalty number 10, 2 minutes delay of game.
Delay of game call to Braden Shen in overtime.
Well, here you go. A great opportunity for Winnipeg. Scored on their only power play opportunity in the game. It didn't take a whole lot of time. So you know it'll be the same personnel that'll hop out over the boards. But talk about opportunity.
Jets are on the Prairie Battery power play. Our one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born, Canadian-owned, prairiebattery.ca. We do it to the left of Binnington. Velarde will take the draw. Power play for Winnipeg. They're 1-for-1. They're on their second. They lose the draw. And Parayko will wheel out of his own zone, 2-on-2. He will chug inside that Winnipeg end, going one on Ehlers. Curls into toward the corner. Takes a hard hit there. Toropchenko came away with a puck. Toropchenko pushed against the board. Winnipeg will scare it away. Neil Pionk after it to the near side and settles it back down in behind his own net with the help of Nikolai Ehlers. Now Winnipeg will start to saunter outside of their own zone. A big long drop. Pionk now for Kyle Connor. Cards his way through that neutral ice for Cole Perfetti with 2 goals tonight. To the near side, Velarde across the line. Velarde skirted into the corner for Perfetti. Back for Connor to the near side. Back along the boards. Perfetti jammed it around the boards. Picked up by Sundqvist and dumped the distance. Paddle down on Hellebuck, and he will make that stop. 1:10 to go on the power play. Winnipeg to the near side. Velarde back to the drop for Cole Perfetti. Skipping through that neutral ice. Drop at center ice for Connor to the near side. Velarde back toward the line. Pionk up top of the far side for Ehlers. To the near side for Connor. Catches that. Surveys. Moves in. Doesn't shoot. Played it down low. Perfetti back out in front. He had his stick impeded. And it's intercepted by the Blues and flopped all the way down the ice once again. 40 seconds to go in the power play for the Jets.
That looked like Cole Perfetti almost got between 2 plays there, whether he wanted to send it into the slot for Iafallo or hang on to it.
Domestikov across the line to the near side for Appleton. Appleton back toward the line. Fleury coming down Main Street. Shoots, stop, rebound. It's underneath Binnington. And he was swimming on the top of the blue ice, and he hangs on. 25 seconds remaining. The penalty to Braden Shen for delay of game.
Like this play by Fleury, just a quick play to the net. Just get that puck, turn and shoot. You had Nino Niederreiter kind of all by himself in front there, getting inside on Broberg. And Binnington looked behind him quickly because I think that deflection kind of fooled him, but it ends up right underneath the Blues goaltender. Some good pressure by Winnipeg, and Nino Niederreiter right in his office.
Face off to the left of Binnington. Domestikov will take the draw. Iafallo, Fleury, Appleton, Niederreiter. Faxa will win it for Parayko. Strides out of his own zone and shoots it right on top of Hellebuck. 15 15 seconds to go on the power play. Last call on it. Ding, ding, ding for Winnipeg. Fleury hustles out of his own zone to the near side for Appleton. Crossed over the line. Shoots it into where the corner and darts after it. Takes a body check there. Niederreiter picks up the puck. Nemestikov back toward the line for Fleury. Fleury far side. Nemestikov moving in, shooting. Blocked in front. Nemestikov pounded it back toward the front of the net. That stopped. Nemestikov got hurt on the far side. Penalty is over. Darting through the neutral ice. Stormchenko shooting. And he put it over the net. And into the meshing. And out of play it goes. 11:29 remaining in OT. Braden Schen's out of the penalty box. Jets are 1 for 2 at the man advantage. Tied at 3, 11:29 to go in OT.
It's a vicious cross-check that Nemestikov takes away from the play. I believe it's from Ryan Suter. That's why he's hobbled, is Nemestikov. He's staying on the bench, but he's in a world of hurt.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck. Lowry will take the draw against Schenn. Schenn will win it back toward the line for Fowler. Fowler up top on the far side for Letty. Spins it around back behind the net. Paddled around to the near side. Tanev goes after it. Pulled it off the wall. Protects the puck. For DeMello. Rolled it around to the far side under some pressure. Now Sandberg. Lead pass for Tanev. Skips inside the zone. Shoots. From a bad angle, and it's gloved down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle. Good job to stay with it for the Winnipeg Jets inside their own zone, Mitch, to get that puck, settle it down, and then advance it.
Yeah, always important to know where your supports are, right? Like Dylan DeMello gets this pass in kind of an awkward spot, and it's kind of rolling on him, but he knows if he plays it back behind the net, he's going to have support there, and that's exactly where Dylan Sandberg was, and leads to Winnipeg coming out of their zone cleanly and being able to get up ice for the Tanev chance.
Lowry will take the draw to the right of Binnington. He wins it back toward the line for Sandberg. To the near side for Pionk. Up top for Sandberg. Onto the far side. Pass is intercepted. And now dancing through that neutral ice. Buchnevich to the far side for Thomas. Back into where the slot. Parayko shooting! And it's stopped by Hellebuck. He came out to the top of the ice and made a dynamite save. 10:55 remaining in overtime. Excellent rush for the Blues. And Hellebuck standing tall right now.
It's kind of the sequence that St. Louis has used a lot in this series, where that fourth player up ice, this one being Colton Parayko, and it's usually been obviously a defenseman for St. Louis jumping up in the rush. And Connor Hellebuck sniffs it out.
Blues want to draw. Full. Far side, Buchnevich. Back in behind the net, rotating off a check. Thomas tried to get it out in front. Stopped there by Parayko. By Pionk. And now sauntering through that neutral ice to backhand it ahead was Barron. Jammed along the boards, and Barron will come away with it again. At center ice for Niederreiter. Into where the middle of the ice, tapped ahead. Barron chugs inside the zone on his off wing. He'll get it in deep with a backhand. Falk back in behind his own net. Pulled it off the back wall. Up along the board. Stopped by Barron. Back into where the net. Bounced off of Broberg. Into where the corner. Moved up along the board. Grabbed there again by Niederreiter. Niederreiter protects the puck. Falk in on him. Stapled against the boards is Niederreiter, waiting for some help. Nemestikov is back out there. We are halfway through overtime. Tied at 3 in game number 7. Appleton back toward the line. Near side, Luke Schenn pushed it into where the corner. It goes off the stick of Buchnevich and falls into the meshing, and we'll get a stoppage of play. 9:57 remaining in overtime. We'll take a timeout on the ice and do the same on your radio. We are tied at 3. You're listening to Play Now Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Where heroes are born and legends are made. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Halfway through overtime. Face off to the left of Binnington. Tied at 3. Baxa against Nemestikov. And the Blues will win it. Chipped off the boards out towards center ice. Scurrying after it is Pion. Got some help now. Rotating off the boards. Nemestikov. Far side for Ehlers. Wristed inside the zone, tumbled around the corner, backhanded around by Perfetti, snatched again by Parayko, moved up along the wing. Walker scurries out towards center ice, trying to move it ahead off the stick of Faxon inside his own bench. Will get a stoppage of play.
Winnipeg trying to get back possession off that dump in. St. Louis does a good job to win that battle below the goal line and kind of force this puck back out into the neutral zone. You just wonder if it's going to be kind of off of a face-off type play that one open look is going to come. Nikolai Ehlers, of course, scored an overtime winner off of a face-off in the series against Edmonton.
Blues win the draw and back in it inside the Winnipeg end. After it goes DeMello for Lowry out towards center ice. Fowler. Far side Parayko. Chip back inside the Winnipeg end. Sandberg. Rimmed around the far side. Pulled off the wall line by Connor. To the near side for Iafolo. Spins it down inside that Blues end. Hustles after it. Takes a body check there. Put it back in by the net for Lowry. Lowry got to the forehand. Two Blues are in on him. Good stick lift by Iafolo. Got the puck back toward the line on the far side. Sandberg to the near side for Connor. Moves in shooting. Stop. Rebound. Pushed into where the corner. Grabbed again by Thomas. But in on him was Connor. Connor side of the slot for Iafolo. Back toward the line, DeMello. DeMello walking the line. Wristed through traffic. Bounced off a body. Parayko goes after it. Parayko trying to move it up along the boards and did. It's a 2-on-2. They thought it was a glove hand pass to the Jets. Here comes Thomas across the line. Far side. Snaps it for Snuggerud. Back out in front. Butch Davids was prevented from getting a stick on that by Sandberg. And Winnipeg will lift it back out towards center. Broberg hustles back down along the board. Broberg back in behind the net. Trying to roll it around. Hit the side of the goal. Niederreiter comes to help out. He will stuff it back in behind his own net for DeMello. Moved ahead to the near side for Velarde. Velarde at center ice. Paddles it down inside that Blues end. After it goes Barron. Slipped and fell. Braden Shen will pull it off the wall. He will move it in toward the middle. Snuggerud to the near side for Neighbors. Backhand it from the Jets line. Back inside that net. Or behind that net. Rolled it around far side. Pionk. Letty will hold the line. Back in behind the goal. Neighbors takes a hard smash from Luke Shen. It goes up along the boards. Winnipeg trying to fetch it there to free it up. Barron back in behind his own net. Far side for Luke Shen. Shen, long lead pass off the stick of Niederreiter. And it flies from center ice. And continues to grab trajectory. And inside that Blues end into the meshing and out of play it goes. We're going to neutralize face-off.
Connor with the most recent good look for the Winnipeg Jets. A aggressive seam pass with a saucer from Dylan Sandberg from the left point. Finds Connor in that right circle. He's kind of backpedaling, so he's not able to shoot right away. Tries to go high short side on Binnington. Just catches the Blues goaltender's shoulder.
Tony Nato out for a shift along with Appleton and Tanev. Winnipeg wins the face-off at center ice. DeMello to the near side. Up along the boards now by Appleton and inside that Blues hand. Rolled around Parayko. Back in behind his own net. Stuff to the far side for Sundqvist. He sends it out to center ice. That grazed off the stick of Joseph, but he was on his side of center. Icing will be the call against the Blues. And we'll see if there's a line change for the Jets. Yes, there will be.
Yeah, the Domestikov's line hops right out there. They've been dangerous throughout this contest, especially when they were put together in the second period.
Face off to the right of Binnington. Center on the boards. The Blues win the draw. Back all the way down. Icing will be the call again against St. Louis.
And coming into the game, Oscar Sundqvist, who just won that last draw, was 4th of 4 Blues centers, 41.9% in the dot. Vlad Domestikov came in at 37.7. You know he'd love to get one here.
Jets won the draw. Nikolai Ehlers high slot. Dropped it off for Pionk. Christian through traffic. Blocked in front. And it's in Matthew Joseph's paraphernalia. And they'll blow the whistle. Faceoff will stay inside the Blues end. We'll do it to the left of Binnington. And now the Blues will get a chance to change. And so will the Winnipeg Jets in corresponding fashion.
I tell you, if that shot got by Joseph, it was a maze of bodies on the way to Binnington. He had the Blues goaltender had kind of lunged to the right, to the correct side that the shot was going to, but Winnipeg had a presence in that net front.
Velarde will take the draw against Faxa to the left of Binnington. Faxa will win it. Broberg hard off the boards out towards center ice. Hopped over the stick of Neil Pionk. He has to turn to go and get it. He and Torpchenko will tie each other up. Sandberg fished it off the wall, sent it around the far side. Falk shot blocked there by Niederreiter. And it ricochets back out towards center ice. Faxa sways back inside his own zone for Falk. Back to Faxa to the near side. Pushed ahead. And paddled in by Kyrou. Hellebuck out of his net to play it. Hellebuck in toward the corner. Spills around to the near side. Up in the air. Pushing and shoving going on. Winnipeg swats it to the far side. Try to get it out. Sandberg back in behind his own net. Rolled it around to the near side for Neil Pionk. He will stride out towards center ice and shoot it in. Bounce off the back wall. Back on in front. Niederreiter going toward the net. And he couldn't get it to settle down. Still has the puck back for the line for DeMello. He's pressured. Put it back in behind the goal. Rolled around to the far side. Iafolo goes after it. Niederreiter is there as well. Fowler is there. Fowler trying to move it up along the boards. And did. Head out towards center ice and on the stick of Robert Thomas. Inside that Winnipeg end he came. Goes to the far side for Kyrou. Knocked away. Winnipeg searching for a puck back inside their own zone and found the stick of Connor. He'll turn it north and flip it down inside that Blues end. Lowry pounds his man in along the back wall. Puck goes to the near side. Schenn will try to hold the line for Lowry. Far side and a shot by Perfetti. And he just flipped it over the net, looking for the hat trick and the series win. Here come the Blues out of their own zone. To the near side again. It's Thomas. He wants a line change, and he'll send it down deep inside that Winnipeg net.
Oh, what a look just off of a puck battle win along the walls. Perfetti I think his weight was just not quite where he wanted it, not quite steady, taking that shot, trying to get it to the net.
Perfetti again will dig it off the wall. Turned over there, the Blues out towards center ice, and Schenn, he turned it over. Domestikov, headman pass for Nikolai Ehlers for the series win. Shoots! Kicked away by Binnington. Oh, he broke free and had a chance walking in. Back the other way. Snuggerud, near side. Broberg shoots and diving out is Perfetti to block that. Somebody broke their stick and tumbles half into the corner, half in front of the net. Shot for the point. Blocked there by Domestikov. Chipped off the boards and inside of the Blues bench, and on a play it goes. Excellent chance for Ehlers. How about the save made by Cole Perfetti on Broberg?
Yeah, Cole Perfetti, we talked about how good he's been away from the puck, and on the defensive side as well. He makes a big play there, and Nikolai Ehlers gets that partial break. He's kind of got Nick Leddy on him, so he doesn't have a lot of time to make a play, and we've seen him use this move before where he kind of tries to chip it to the other side. And Binnington just gets the glove on it. A great look for Nikolai Ehlers, who's had a few in the limited amount of time he's seen in this series.
Face off to the left of Connor Hellebuck. Back toward the line. Parayko shoots, deflected in front, and skips right into Hellebuck. They'll make the save and hang on. 4:40 remaining in OT. Tied at 3.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of face-offs, and that's exactly why right there. Connor Hellebuyck in great position and no second chance opportunity even off the deflection.
Winnipeg wins the draw. Rotating back in behind their own net. DeMello off the skate of Velarde. Out towards center ice it goes. Snatched again by the Blues and flopped back inside the Winnipeg end. Dion back in behind his own net. Outletted near side toward DeMello. Up along the boards, Velarde. Backs his way in toward the zone. Put it toward the side of the slot. Grabbed by Niederreiter. Tried to drop it there for Barron. Back for Niederreiter. Weak shot toward the net. Glove down by Bennington. He'll hang on for whistle. 4:14 remaining in OT. Tied at 3. Game 7.
Talk about hard work by Nino Niederreiter. He just barrels his way around Colton Parayko to just try to be that first one in on that dump-in puck. He's able to do it. He's not able really to get full possession at any point, but it's that work that allows Winnipeg to end up with this offensive zone face-off. Great work by Niederreiter.
Lowry will take the draw against Shen. To the right of Bennington. Lowry wins it back toward the line for Sandberg. Into where the corner for Cal Connor. Connor darting around, twisting around. Back toward the line for Sandberg, back for Connor. Threw it into where the corner, back in behind the net for Lowry, trying to get it out in front. Broken up, Connor after it, taken off stride there by Thomas. Moved ahead, Buchnevich. Here come the Blues, they'll backhand it down inside that Winnipeg end. After it, there goes Falk. Ridden in along the boards by DeMello, came back toward the line, Buchnevich. Spins it around to the far side for Broberg. Broberg will saunter down in behind the net to the near side for Kyrou. In on him, DeMello. Now for Lowry, who takes the puck. Lowry put it off the window and bounced it out towards center ice. Broberg with the puck again. Broberg will flip it back inside the Winnipeg end. Sandberg back after it. Toropchenko in on him. They tie each other up back in behind that Winnipeg net. Toropchenko with it again. Winnipeg will try to squeeze him out. In there is Walker, pushed against the boards by Sandberg. 3 Jets are there, 3 Blues are there. 3:15 to go in overtime. Lowry trying to dig it out of some paraphernalia there. In the corner, Fax is there as well. Big snarl up, big pile up going on in this corner on the near side. They continue to fight on. Nobody's blowing anything down. It's still scrunched against the boards. Lowry will back off, and finally they will blow it down.
Might be for the best for Winnipeg there, too. At end of a shift, Adam Lowry in the defensive zone gets this thing flipped into the neutral zone. Obviously, you don't want to take an icing call when you've already been out there as long as that line had been. But he doesn't get it deep enough with the long change. So it's a kind of that fine balance that these players are trying to walk. And they all end up back defending in their own zone. So really nice work by the Jets defense and DeMello and Sandberg and Adam Lowry there in support to keep that thing pinned long enough to get a whistle, which is hard to do.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. Barron will take the draw against Braden Shen. Shen wins it cleanly back toward the line. Fowler, D-to-D in the far side, Parayko. Shot it toward the net, that one wide. Carried safely now by Barron. Around the side of his net, sent it all the way down. Nice will be the call against the Jets as he just didn't click with that pass to Nino Niederreiter.
Yeah, and I wonder because Parayko tried to hold the line if that might have gotten waved off, but obviously they deem it was coming too quickly and for Parayko to reasonably be expected to make a play on it.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. And pushed between the 2 defensemen of the Jets line for the Blues and out towards center ice. Sent right back in by Fowler. Hard rimmer on the board to the near side. There is Velarde. Makes a nice move. Crossed over the line. Velarde, side of the slot. Pushed against the boards there by Braden Shen. Velarde still fighting. Fell down. In to try to help out is Barron. Into where the corner. Still after it. Back toward the line for Fleury. Shot it into where the corner. Bounced off a body. Snatched by Parayko. Moved into where the middle for Braden Shen. Across the line. In on him to snatch the puck away and send it back out towards center ice. Niederreiter. Winnipeg will control the puck at his own line. Fleury, far side now again. Dumped inside the zone by Barron. Winnipeg wants a line change. Feeling after it there is Perfetti. Moved ahead, Vucinovic off his stick. Flies down inside the Winnipeg end. Domestikov goes after it into where the corner. Helped out there by Luke Shen. Far side for Ehlers. Ehlers' little stutter move. He knocked it back to the line. Stopped there by Falk. Falk shoots that one wide. Stopped to the side of the net by Hellebuck. Knocked into where the corner. Grabbed again. Sent back toward the line. Shot came in from Broberg. That goes over the net. Ehlers pounds his man into where the corner. Came away with a puck. Tried to move it out and did. Down the left wing boards. Domestikov. Pushed against the boards by Falk. Winnipeg inside the Blues end, and the puck is ejected back out towards center ice. Neil Pionk back in behind his own net, will stop up and survey.
That's going to rank right up there with one of the hardest hits I've seen Nikolai Ehlers throw, but it's huge. It knocks Kyrou off the puck.
Kyle Connor darts inside the zone, curled back in behind the net. Connor still with the puck, back to the line. Pionk shoots for traffic, stopped by Bennington. Ricochet back out towards center ice. 55 seconds to go in overtime. Pionk moved it ahead. Here comes Iafallo. Spins inside the zone. Down along the board. Threw it around to the far side. Racing after it, Lowry. Ahead of him is Joseph, and he'll punch it back in behind his own net. 40 seconds remaining in overtime. Fowler sways out towards center ice. Moved it ahead and off the stick of Faxa. Grabbed by DeMello. Hardrimer on the boards. Out towards center ice. And Velarde tried to dive for it to prevent it from getting all the way down. He just couldn't catch up to it. Icing will be the call against the Jets. 29 seconds remaining in OT. We're tied at 3.
And Velarde was close on this one. And another close call for Winnipeg in the offensive zone. Neil Pionk with a couple of Winnipeg bodies and a couple of St. Louis bodies gets this point shot all the way through, but Bennington's able to get the stick on it.
Blues from the draw. Leddy off the boards for Snuggerud, back for Leddy. Winds up, passed it into where the corner, into the side of the net. Paddled there by Hellebuck with that big goal stick into where the corner, back for the line. Leddy shot, and that went off the shin pads of Velarde. Sprays back out towards center ice. 10 seconds to go in overtime. Backhanded back inside the zone by Shen, and DeMello will count it down, and we'll head to double overtime. And for the Winnipeg Jets, for the second time in franchise history. Actually the third. 2 previous to this one, and now a third. So nothing settled through 75 minutes of hockey tonight. We're tied at 3.
Tense. You can just kind of feel it. Any opportunity that Winnipeg puts toward the net, you can feel the crowd getting louder and louder, and then anytime the Blues have the puck, they're wanting Winnipeg to force a turnover quickly. A couple good looks for Winnipeg, couple good looks for St. Louis. Both goaltenders holding strong.
Shots on goal, 39-24 after 4 periods of hockey tonight. Nothing settled, tied at 3. We'll send it over to Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gillowoychuk for our intermission report. Lots to talk about with those two as well. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Brett.
At Mid-Canada Fasteners, we try to be your one-stop shop for all of your construction needs.
We have a large inventory of threaded rod, strut and strut fittings, as well as construction-rated ladders and sawhorses, janitorial supplies, rigging supplies, and personal safety equipment.
So come by and see what we have to offer. Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
There's nothing quite like the playoffs. And there's no better way to enjoy the games in the comfort of your own home.
Top shelf, baby!
JS Furniture wants you to break away with these amazing deals. Save up to 40% off 4-model recliners and select reclining sofas, so you can watch every hit, shot, and selling. JS Furniture, serving you for over 50 years. 1725 Ellis Avenue in Winnipeg, and now open in their new location in Portage la Prairie. Visit furnitureandmore.ca.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Are you ready for a little bonus hockey? This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Who knew the first ever Game 7 in NHL playoff history in Winnipeg would result in such a dramatic evening of hockey through the first period of overtime, 80 minutes of hockey. We are still looking at a 3-3 tie. The Winnipeg Jets outshooting the St. Louis Blues 11-4 in that overtime period. So Dwayne Gilowoychuk, since the start of the third period, the shots in this game are 26-8. You'd have to think that some people like Neil Pionk and Dylan Samberg at 39 and 36 minutes respectively, Colton Parayko and Cam Fowler right in around the 35-minute mark. You wonder if it's going to be a beautiful play or if it's just going to be a fatigue mistake that results in this series coming to an abrupt ending.
Well, those are some big-time minutes for those 4D you're talking about on both teams. But what starts to happen when you've played lots of minutes like that, and it's not where you get now you're out every third shift. You're out every other shift mostly here for those guys that are playing. Going back for pucks, when teams dump pucks in, when you have to turn and go back and get them, you lose that step, you lose that quickness, and now all of a sudden you're battling. And when that happens, there's more and more fatigue that goes so much quicker. So you got to be sharp. You got to make sure that you have your good gaps as a D and all those. But usually when you start getting tired, your brain doesn't work as quick and your feet don't move as quick as well.
Yeah, Dylan DeMello, he's just over the 30-minute mark. It's probably been a while since Hayden Fleury played 27 minutes and 16 seconds in a game, and even Luke Shen at 22-20. So the Jets only going with 5 defensemen, but they've spread it out a little bit more. St. Louis is primarily leaning on their top 4. Justin Falk, he's over 30 minutes, and his defense partner Philip Broberg at 30 minutes. So Jim Montgomery and his coaching staff pretty much going with a 4-man rotation. Luddy and Suter are more or less observers on the bench.
Yeah, they're getting spotted in, on offensive zone face-off, neutral zone face-offs if they can, if there's a D-zone face-off, and St. Louis thinks that, a certain matchup is not going to be out there. They'll go out there with one of those top 3 guys or 4 guys on St. Louis. But, Shen's the same way. He hasn't seen much ice time, but he's gone out there a few times to help. And give head coach Scott O'Neill credit. He put his 4th line out a couple times in that period just to kind of generate. They did what they did a couple times. They got in pucks deep. They were physical and got an offensive zone face-off for the Jets.
It's amazing, though, Christian O'Mell, who joins us now, the host of the CJOB Sports Show. You go back to the first period, and the Winnipeg Jets were literally squeezing the filings out of their sticks. Now they look like the team that's a little more comfortable in this scenario.
This is the Winnipeg Jets that we've grown to know, right? This team that does not allow a lot of opportunities. And they're also buoyed by a crazy comeback, right? And that's a big momentum push. St. Louis hasn't been able to generate a ton. They've had, the odd man rush here and there, but the Jets' sticks have been so crisp since really the third period began. I think they've been in the right place a lot to knock plays down, to take passes away, and really defensively limit what St. Louis can do. Now, offensively, there have been fleeting moments, like the Ehlers' partial break was the best chance they had. That's the one that you look back at and say, ooh, I hope that's not one they say what could have been.
Yeah.
But then the power play, too, they just couldn't win a face-off, too. They never really got set up until the very end of that power play. But they were still the better team in OT, but none of this matters if you can't get the next goal.
Yeah, St. Louis has won 57% of the face-offs by a 44-24 margin, so they are controlling pucks off the draw. And where it becomes extremely critical, of course, are those defensive zone face-offs. And we might not see as many of those, Dwayne, in this 5th period of the game, the 2nd of overtime, because now you're back to the shorter change. That long change first overtime period, is it very difficult, especially on the defenseman.
Yes, it is. It's a long way to get back to home base sometimes when you're on the second period. It's a long way to get there. A lot of times what starts happening is, and you saw it in this first overtime, where you just change the person that's closest to the bench and you get fresh legs out, that guy goes wide, and then you at least have the guy that's tired close to the bench. But all those times of getting to the red line by your forwards, making sure pucks get out, making sure pucks get deep, that first good pass, those things are all going to become important, especially in a change like that. But now that they're in their natural sides, natural ends, you're going to see probably maybe some more stretch passes, which we've seen Winnipeg doing. Gabe Vilardi almost caught one on an icing attempt. You're going to start seeing that a little bit more, where some of the forwards are going to start sneaking in behind the D.
Well, not many people left the rink. Once that overtime period started, I was kind of interested to see what the seats would look like, and they're basically all occupied. And kudos to the talented artists that you hear in the background. I don't know how deep the playlist is for Mach 10 tonight, but they might be playing duplicates before long. But Christian O'Mell, the one thing about this, a new hero, if the Winnipeg Jets are able to win this game, will become part of the lore of hockey in this town and province.
Absolutely. It'll be a where were you on May 4th, 2025 moment, right? And it is just the first round, but this feels like more than that to some degree too, because they were a minute and a half from just going out with a whimper, right? And just a complete failure. And if they lose this game, it is still a failure, but they still fought back super hard to get it to this point. So, yeah, go into the offseason with a bit more hope, but you still lose the game. So getting over the finish line, whoever it is that scores this goal, if it is the goal, we saw Kelly in very different circumstances, 2 goals in this building in 2021, empty. And we wondered, what would it be like to, because we've never seen just a playoff OT goal in this building before scored by the Jets. And so we maybe get to see it not only in overtime, but also Game 7 after a 3-1 comeback, and it's going to be at least double overtime. It's never going to ever be louder than that, you'd think. So it's tantalizing, but again, who's going to be the one that gets it done? Who's going to make the play on St. Louis's side? Who makes the mistake? Because in overtime, it tends to usually happen because someone messed up as you get more tired, and the Jets are playing with 5D and have been the whole night.
Yeah, and Vlad Nemesnikov shake it up for a bit, but he was able to stay in the game. So based on what Kristen was just saying, we haven't done this. We didn't do it for the first overtime, but we're deep enough now. If you had to pick somebody to play the hero on either side, who would you go with, Dwayne?
For the Winnipeg Jets, I'm going to go Morgan Barron. It's going to be one of those goals. It's going to be a deflection or, a net front battle or a tip or whatever that is. But he's going to be a big body in front of the net. For the St. Louis Blues, I'm probably going to go Jake Neighbors.
Okay, how about you, Christian?
I think Ehlers made, so many, not quite plays in regulation that he has that crazy one-touch pass to set up Connor, to set up Perfetti at the end of OT. It'd almost be fitting, this guy who might be playing in his last game as a Jet ended up with the game-winning goal. So I'm going with Ehlers, and then Robert Thomas for the Blues. He has scored a Game 7 double overtime goal before for the St. Louis Blues back in 2019 against Dallas. Not that I would ever remember that for bad reasons, but it's actually, no, it was Pat Maroon that scored that, but Thomas did all the work. It was just sitting on the goal line. Maroon knocked it in. So he's been in these situations before, the Blues have. So I'm going to go with Thomas, and hope I'm wrong.
All right, and I'm going to go with Cole Perfetti for the Winnipeg Jets to display his inner Mikko Rantanen and join certainly the list of incredible Game 7 performances. And Colton Parayko, I know he's played a lot. I don't know if he'd have the energy to even draw back and let the puck go, but he seems to be that defenseman that the Blues look for when they're able to get that puck in the offensive zone and watch for the trailer.
He had an excellent chance in overtime here, being the fourth guy in the rush. They found him jumping in, and then also Braden Chen found him sneaking down the back door. It looked like a design play that they had done before, and he got everything on that shot.
Yeah, and speaking of Connor Hellebuyck, Christian, in that overtime period, he didn't face a lot of shots, but he looked like the Connor Hellebuyck of the regular season. I try to remember who it was. Jake Neighbors, I think, where he came right to the top of the crease and basically took the net away.
There were no rebounds on the Blues' chances in overtime, and I think that's been key, right? He's looked more composed in net, and he can erase everything that's happened in this series if the Jets win tonight, right? And then it's a whole new ball game going into Dallas, but there's still, it's playoff overtime. It could hit a dude. It could hit us. Anything can happen. Hockey's such a random sport sometimes.
Yeah. And that's why those face-offs, I know during the regular season.
There's so many icings in OT.
Yeah, everybody is kind of, whatever. But now, and especially in overtime of a Game 7.
Yes.
That's where, as you mentioned, it can be the most innocuous of plays, but if it gets into the net, then the series is done.
Well, I feel like the best forward line has been Nemesnikov, Perfetti, and Ehlers, but Nemesnikov's been getting crushed at the dot.
Yes,
he has tended to be not great at faceoffs in his career and is not going well for him tonight. So that's the one drawback on them starting on the ice.
He and Morgan Barron both are combined 13 and 24 at the faceoff dot. But Mark Scheifele was only 43%, which is exactly where the
They're
Jets
not a good faceoff team.
No, they haven't been, and that's the one. I don't know why that is, Dwayne, but that's the one thing that doesn't seem to change from the regular season to the playoffs.
It's all about, face-off matches, how the design plays, all that comes into effect, but it's a key part for any game, but especially now in overtime.
Sitting back and enjoying every second of this are the Dallas Stars, 3-3 as we get ready for period number 5 next on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Hey, did anyone bring some extra munchies? This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Third time in franchise history, we go to double overtime in a playoff game, tied at 3. Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Klin with you. Jets are flying from our broadcast right to left. Game 7. Barron, Niederreiter, Velarde, Fleury, Luke Shen. Winnipeg wins the draw. Shen for Fleury. Trying to move it inside the zone. Came right back to him. Now for Luke Shen on the far side. Indirect for Velarde. At center ice. And center down inside that Blues end. Sent by backs around. Tumbled around here to the near side by Falk. Can't get it out. Falk back again. Rink wide for Broberg. Wristed out towards center ice. And on the tape there of Toropchenko. He'll flip it down on top of the Winnipeg net. That went just a little bit wide. Rimmed around to the near side. And Winnipeg out towards center ice it goes. Parayko now for Kyrou. Scories inside the zone. Moving in. Shoot! Blocked away by Hellebuck. And the rebound cascades into the mesh, into the corner on the far side. And out of play it goes. 40 seconds in to double OT.
Now Winnipeg tried to squeeze in a line change there on that puck that went into the neutral zone, and Parayko with a quick little backhand pass to send Kyrou in on the rush chance. So big save there by Connor Hellebuck early in the second overtime.
Lowry will take the draw against Robert Thomas. To the left of Hellebuck. Winnipeg will get the puck bouncing around, though. They couldn't corral it back out in front. Here's Thomas. Side of the slot, waits. Thomas shoots, and he put it over the net. Tumble around on the near side. Parayko will pinch in. Hold the line into where the corner. Back in behind the net, taken off his stick by Sandberg. Chipped up along the boards. Kyle Connor will tie up his man, Buchnevich. Big scrum poured into where the corner. Cairo came away with it. Saunders back in behind the net. Squeezed out nicely by Neil Pion. Trying to move it up along the boards. Can't get it out. Winnipeg with it again. It's in some skates. Found there by Kyle Connor. 2-on-2. Chip and chase down inside that St. Louis end. Peeling off is Lowry for line change. Connor wins the battle into where the corner. Came away with a puck. Rolled it back in behind the net for Cole Perfetti. 2 goals tonight. Back to the far side, Domestikov. Back to where the line, DeMello. Near side, Fleury shoots. And it's off a stick and wide. Settle down, Domestikov. DeMello shooting. Blocked away by Binnington. Rebound. Put up along the boards and out towards center ice. Snuggerud at center. He'll shoot it in. Avoid a check. Stopped by Hellebuck. Snapped around to the near side for Fleury. Reverse to the far side for his team partner in DeMello. Up along the boards, Domestikov. Turned his stick and it's sent down inside that Blues end. Suter back in behind his own net to pick it up. Into where the middle and the Blues are out towards center ice. To the near side, Shen for Snuggerud. Chopped off his stick back the other way. Here's Nikolai Ehlers. Saunders inside the zone. Put it back out in front for Perfetti. Locked in, loaded, he fired, looking for the hat trick. He put it wide on the short side. Corralled again by Falk. Falk up along the boards. Got it out towards center ice for Snuggerud. Shuttled down inside that Winnipeg end. After it goes Sundqvist back in behind the net. Send it back around to the far side for Kyrou. Kyrou shoots. That went wide. Grab to the near side. Sent back toward the line for Leddy. Leddy to the near side for Buchnevich. Buchnevich will drop it now for Thomas. Shoots through traffic. That went wide. Grabbed by Broberg. Off his stick and goes. Picked up by Shen. Moved ahead for Appleton with crushed legs. Crossed over the line. Dropped it for Tanev. Tanev moving in. Shoots. And it's kicked away by Binnington with the left toe. Lowry back to the line. DeMello shoots. Stick save made by Binnington. To the near side. Pionk shooting. And he flung it wide. And it cascades around on the far side and out towards center ice. Fans are enjoying this. Settled down by Tanev. Now for DeMello, who sways back inside his own zone.
Just one of those put it on the net and anything can happen. Winnipeg had a couple of really close calls there, just grazing outside the post. A good look and great foot speed by Nikolai Ehlers to set up that Perfetti one-timer chance.
Out towards center ice. Toromchenko skips inside the Winnipeg end. Deposits there, goes back after the puck into where the corner. Pushed against the boards on the far side. Winnipeg trying to wrestle him off the puck. Goes back in behind the net for Luke Shen. Snapped it around the boards with some authority. Stopped by Parayko. His shot from the point is absorbed by Hellebuck, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 16:24 remaining in double OT. Tied at 3.
And Hayden Fleury standing in front of Connor Hellebuck, taking no chances there. Once that point shot is kind of let go by Parayko at the point, Fleury just gets completely out of the way so that Hellebuck has a clear look at it. We've seen Brandon Tanev do this play a couple of times where he comes in and it looks like he's looking for a pass and he just kind of puts the puck toward the net. He nearly fooled Binnington on the short side on that last rush.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. Barron against Braden Shen. Jets win it. Sandberg. Far side now for Velarde. Up through that neutral ice and softly sends it down inside that Blues end. Parayko goes after it. Knocked it into where the corner. Winnipeg will try to stop that. Fowler is there along with Niederreiter. Velarde wins the battle back to the line. DeMello up top now here for Sandberg. Back for DeMello moving in. Shooting! And it's in and out of the glove of Binnington. And then he dives out at the side of his net to smother that. Hangs on for a whistle. 4 minutes have expired in double OT.
We've seen Winnipeg run this kind of give and go, if you will, between the D just to try to get St. Louis moving around a little bit and to create a bit of a lane, and that's exactly what happens as DeMello sends this shot. Might have gone a little bit wide, but he's using Nino Niederreiter as a bit of a screen and maybe even a tip if he's able to get his stick on it. He tries to, but Binnington's the one that ends up getting the glove.
Face off to the left of Binnington. Domestikov will take the draw. Won by the Blues. Broberg rolled it around to the near side for Joseph. Joseph smothered there by Sandberg. Reverses. He just about gave it away in the slot. Bouncing puck. Held there by Nikolai Ehlers. Now for Domestikov. Domestikov will punch it along the boards, but he got squeezed out. Picked up by Joseph. Moved it ahead for Thomas. Across the line. Thomas near side. Sundqvist slides it toward the net. That went wide. Came off the back wall. Picked up by Perfetti. Spit off the boards. Domestikov goes after it. Puts on the brakes at center ice. Put it back into where the middle. Cole Perfetti darts in. Got tripped up. No call. Play continues. Full. Moved it ahead at center ice. Stopped there by Lowry. Chuck back inside the zone. Flopped it into where the corner, Nathan Walker. Back behind his own net for Parayko. Rolled around on the far side, Toropchenko. Taken off stride there by Lowry. Winnipeg tried to chop the puck up along the boards. Hit a body, Toropchenko stuffed it back inside the Jets' hand. After it goes Luke Schenn. Scampers back in behind his own net. Hard wrister up along the boards. Winnipeg will force it out towards center ice. Lowry is there. Takes a body check from Walker, but got it toward that Blues line. Picked up by Kyle Connor. Darts inside the zone. Connor works his way into where the corner, sways back. Connor's still with it. Backhands it into where the corner. After it goes Appleton. Appleton back toward the line for Fleury. Far side to Mello. Far side again for Connor. Connor back in behind the net. Kicked it from a skate to a stick. Got taken off stride, and the Blues will get out towards center ice. Kyrou across that Jets line. He'll wait. Push it into where the corner. For Buchnevich. Back toward the line for Leddy. On the far side now for Suter. Shoots. Blocked in front. Tumbled into where the corner. Winnipeg going after it there in Barron. Swats it up along the boards now for Tanev. He scurries out towards center ice to get knocked off the puck. Out towards center ice. The puck will slide. Leddy will push it right back in. Stopped there by Tanev. And he'll flip it out towards center and bounce it back inside that Blues end. 6 minutes have expired in this double overtime period. 14 minutes remaining in double overtime. Winnipeg back inside their own zone. Niederreiter hoisted out towards center ice. Velarde racing back inside the zone. He'll force a turnover. Tony Netto tried to get it toward the net. That stop came back to the line. Held there by Pionk. High slot Velarde. And he just couldn't fashion it to a stick. Back out towards center ice. A bit of a break. Snuggerud moving in. Great stick there by Neil Pionk to knock him off the puck. And advance it now north to Niederreiter, and he'll stuff it again back inside the Blues end. Winnipeg wants a change.
Neil Pionk's over 40 minutes in this game. Just a tremendous one-on-one play covering for Sandberg.
13:15 remaining in this double overtime period. Bolduc after the puck, back in behind that Winnipeg net. Tried to avoid a check there, headed it off for Sundqvist back to the line for Fowler. Shoots deflected in front, that one wide. Grabbed again by DeMello. Rimmed around the boards. Fowler keeps it in, shoots. Deflected just wide on the near side. Scampering back after it again. A couple of Jets, a couple of Blues. Rimmed around to the far side. Ehlers will wrist it out towards center ice safely. Moved ahead again for Sundqvist. Punctured back inside the Winnipeg end. Came into where the slot. Backhand! And it's gloved down by Hellebuck. Off the stick of Matthew Joseph. 12:44 remaining in double overtime. We're tied at 3.
That just shows how quick that the Blues can transition and get back into the offensive zone and look dangerous. But Connor Hellebuck once again, top of the crease, got a good sight line on it. Good box out by DeMello and Fleury to make sure the St. Louis Blues couldn't get any more for traffic up there in front of their goaltender, and Hellebuck's able to snare it with the glove.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. Lowry will take the draw. It's won by the Blues. Falk shoots. Stopped by Hellebuck again. And he'll hang on. We'll do it again to his left.
Yeah, once again, I mean, we've been talking about faceoffs kind of throughout overtime in this game. It's 56% leaning towards St. Louis. And Falk gets a good look off the one faceoff by Thomas.
Lowry digs at it, wins it into where the corner. Fleury rotates around on the far side. Frya follow. Darts out towards center ice for Lowry. Backhands it down inside that Blues end. Finishing up to stop that. Slides it around to the near side for Falk. Falk rink wide on the far side. Kicked ahead by Broberg. Spills back inside the Winnipeg end. Pionk rolled it around to the near side again for Fleury. Jets have been down to 5 defensemen since the first period. We're in double overtime. Buchnevich, cross-ice pass, off a stick, waiting for it is Thomas. He'll flip it back inside that Winnipeg end. Both teams will make some changes. 12:05 remaining in double OT.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of just get that red line, get it in, and keeping things extremely simple here in overtime.
Pionk will shoot it in. Rims around again to the near side. Chopped by Parayko. Just about gave it away. There's Nathan Walker to help out. Side of his slot. Back for Parayko. Back toward the line. Kept alive by Sandberg. His shot went wide. Far side Barron. Hard rim around with a backhand to the near side. And flushed back out towards center ice by the Blues. Crossed over the line. Back to the near side. Hard hit there by Sandberg. Winnipeg rescues the puck. And Velarde back in behind his own net. Long lead pass for Niederreiter at center ice. Niederreiter curls back inside his own zone. Hands the puck off. Far side for Luke Shen. Shen didn't like the read. Winnipeg wants a change. He passed it back off again for his team partner in Sandberg. Long lead pass to the far side. Nikolai Ehlers stays on side. Crossed over the line. He'll drop it for Shen. Coming down Main Street. Shoots. Stopped by Bennington. Rebound. Gathered up by Winnipeg. Sauntering toward the corner. It's Ehlers. Shoots from a bad angle. Blocked away by Bennington. Rebound grabbed again. Nemestikov back toward the line. Fleury left side point. Now for Ehlers. Back for Fleury. Chopped it toward the high slot. He settled it down and backheads it back in behind the net. Nemestikov sways there to pick it up. Nemestikov rimmed it around the boards again on the far side. Pulled off the wall. Fleury. Now again for Perfetti. Turns and fires. That stop. Rebound is flushed and plungered out towards center ice by Neighbors. Both teams make a change. Quick up. Nikolai Ehlers across the line. Swaying away from some traffic. Rimmed it around to the far side for Falk. Up along the board. Stopped by DeMello, but it popped over his stick and out towards center ice. Ehlers will send it back down inside his own zone for Hellebuck. He rolled it around to the far side, then reversed by Pionk. Winnipeg will try to get it out. They can't. And a second opportunity they do in Kyle Connor. Joseph to the near side. Sorry, Mitch. Back up along the boards for the Blues, and Joseph will dump it back inside that Winnipeg end.
Just going to say, second time this period where that puck has kind of made its way toward the Winnipeg Jets bench as they're going through a line change. Really alert over there to make sure you're not jumping early.
Dumped inside that Blues end by DeMello, rolled around back in behind the net. Broberg will paddle it around off the stick of Kyrou into where the middle. Here come the Blues and Robert Thomason across the line. Trying to move it in. That was broken up, and Winnipeg again will discard it back out towards center ice. Fowler reverses to the near side behind his own net for Parayko. Up along the wing. That's going to be icing. Nobody touched it for the Blues, and the Jets will get a face-off inside that St. Louis end. Tied at 3, 9:32 remaining in double OT. And they'll take a time out of the ice and do the same on your radio. 9.5 to go in double overtime. Nothing settled in Game 7. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey from downtown Winnipeg and Canada Life Center on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
No 3-on-3 or shootouts to settle the score now. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
9:32 remaining in double overtime. We'll do it to the right of Binnington. Jets scoring at 18:05 and 19:57 of the third to tie it at 3 in dramatic fashion. And here we are, Mitchell.
It's great. The fans haven't lost any energy whatsoever, which is no small thing for the Winnipeg Jets playing in double overtime, especially with some of the minutes that have racked up on the back end for a group that's been playing with 5D since early in the first.
Lowry will take the draw against Robert Thomas. Into where the corner it goes. Moved up along the board, stopped by Lowry, put it back out in front, off the stick play there by Iafallo. On the fill, Iafallo will hold the line into where the corner for Kyle Connor. double team there, but he managed to get some free ice, put it back in behind the net for Lowry. Lowry with 2 goals in this series. Lowry back in behind the net for Iafallo. Iafallo back toward the line for Sandberg. D-to-D for Pion. Winds up, shot it wide with purpose, came off the back wall. And it's gloved down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle.
Yeah, ideally you're looking for the play off the end wall there. It kind of came off a little bit dead, so Bennington was able to react to it pretty quickly. And if Bennington doesn't make the play on it, then Adam Lowry standing right there, and Alex Iafallo is about half a stride away on the goal line.
They do it to the left of Bennington. Barron will take the draw against Faxa. Winnipeg wins it back toward the line. Neil Pion slap shot deflected in front. And then chopped down was Barron. Racing out of his own zone is Walker. Walker to center ice. He'll push it down inside the Winnipeg end. Go back after it. Walker back toward the line here for Falk. Falk sways. Slap shot blocked in front there by Tanev. He felt that when he's down. He hobbles back up. Fight for the puck into where the corner. Sandberg squeezes. Toropchenko there. It's scooped up by the Blues. Back toward the line. Falk on the far side for Broberg. Broberg, a shot through traffic. Ricocheted and stopped by Hellebuck. Winnipeg again will exit the zone with a dump out. And it's sent right back in by Falk, and both teams will make some changes.
What a block by Brandon Tanev, who I think got his glove up to cover his face just in time. That's a big block in double OT.
DeMello to the near side at center ice, will dump it in, but he wasn't quite at the red line. The pass didn't click with Ehlers. Icing will be the call against the Jets. 8:13 to go in double OT.
Yeah, trying to hit Ehlers in stride here. He's hammering that stick on the ice, trying to get it in speed so that he could try to break through, and just not quite able to make contact with it, so it goes down for icing.
Face off to the left of Hellebuck. Nemesnikov will scramble the face off. Puncher back inside the zone, a little deeper there by Kyrou. Back in behind the net after it goes Sandberg. Sandberg up along the boards for Ehlers. Flipped out towards center ice and on the glove of Cole Perfetti. Swings his way inside the zone, but had to beat a double team. Fowler took the puck away. Up along the boards to the near side for Kyrou. Pass to himself. Across the line. He'll drop it now for Buchnevich. Back for Kyrou. Into where the corner. Kyrou back for Buchnevich along the boards of the hash. Put it back out in front. Broken up by Velarde. Nice job. Slipped and fell into where the corner. Got back up. Tried to move it ahead for Nemesnikov. Stopped. Center back out in front. Buchnevich couldn't get a stick on it. And Niederreiter will make sure that he flushes it back out towards center ice. Broberg back inside his own zone. Onto the far side. Lost the puck. Velarde to the near side. Niederreiter skips inside the zone. Trying to fight off a check. Lost the puck. Back toward the line. Grabbed by Braden Shen. Swings inside the Winnipeg end. Going inside and out. On Neil Pionk. They fight for position into where the corner. Sent around by Neighbors. Hit a scuttled stick. Back to the line for Liddy. Back for Neighbors. On the far side. Back toward the line. Turns and fires back in behind the net. Grabbed by Parayko. Pinched down along the boards. Parayko gave it away, and Winnipeg and Niederreiter again will hoist it back out towards center. Leddy to the near side for Snuggerud. Changing on the fly, continues. Snuggerud back inside his own zone for Cole Parayko.
Some good defensive sticks by the Winnipeg Jets on that last shift. There was a small little seam on the cross-ice play that St. Louis tried to get to, but it goes off both Nemesnikov and Nikolai Ehlers sticks.
Lowry back around the boards on the far side for Iafallo. 2-on-2 with Kyle Connor. Iafallo striding inside the zone. Iafallo toward the net. Curled back in behind the net. Got squeezed out by Fowler. Jammed along the boards. Lowry comes in there for support. Lowry trying to roll off the boards. Back toward the line for Sandberg. His shot is blocked. Back out towards center ice. And the Blues got tripped up. Stopped there by Sandberg. Winnipeg hop back across the line. Lowry now for Kyle Connor. Up top for Sandberg. Shoot. Deflected in front. Rebound. And it's just pushed wide. Good chance there. Iafallo and Lowry were both there. Dump back out towards center ice. And Winnipeg back inside their own zone. Both teams will change again on the fly. Under 6 minutes remaining in double overtime.
A couple of times in this game, there's been that loose puck in around Bennington.
Nikolai Ehlers speeding inside the zone. Curled back in behind the net. Trying to put it back out in front. Intended for Perfetti. That was broken up. Perfetti had his stick lifted, and now Thomas out towards center ice. Put it on the stick of Buchnevich. He'll fire it inside the Winnipeg end. After goes Fleury. Curls into the corner. Up along the boards now, Perfetti. Cross-ice pass for Neil Pionk. Back for Perfetti. Cross the line. Drop Niederreiter. Moving in, shooting. Stick save made by Bennington. Rebound into the corner. Winnipeg has the high guy there. Is 3 or 4 now for the Blues. Emerge out towards center ice. And skipping through that neutral ice is Suter. He'll shoot it in. Trapped there with the goal stick of Hellebuck. Winnipeg rotates out of the corner. Fleury. Far side for Shen. Up along the boards for Appleton. Off his stick it goes and down inside the Blues end. Rimmed around by Barron. Center out of the far side. Intercepted there. Chugging out towards center ice is Toropchenko. He'll backhand it down inside that Winnipeg end. Toropchenko takes a body check there from Luke Shen. Puck is contested along the boards and expressed out towards center ice to the near side here. And Barron down along the board. Still has the puck. Barron back in behind the net. Rolled it around to the far side. And Toropchenko coming back to snatch that. He'll move it now for Sundqvist to center, and he'll flop it down inside that Winnipeg end. 4.5 remaining in double overtime. Loose puck at the side of the net. Lowry trucks over to the far side. He'll skate out of his own zone towards center ice on his off wing down inside that Blues end. Lowry moving in, shoot. That goes wide. Came off the back wall. Sundqvist will cart that into the corner. Taking off his stick. Back toward the line. Pionk up top for Fleury. Winds up, shoot. Deflected in front. It hit the post. It hit the post on the far side. Lowry with the puck again. Back toward the line. Pionk up top. Fleury winds up. Pass at the side of the net for Kyle Connor. Darts around. Connor back toward the line. Pionk walks the line. Wristed through traffic. He scores! Deflected in front by the captain, Adam Lowry. Jets win! Jets win! Jets win! In double overtime tonight! What a comeback! And they'll move along in the series and win it 4-3. Bring on the Dallas Stars. The whiteout has been held over to the second round for the first time since 2018. Lowry's third of the playoffs. And the Winnipeg Jets have done the unthinkable. Coming back to beat the St. Louis Blues. They were down 3-1 until late in the third period. What a game. What a series. What a night. 4-3 the final in double overtime for the Jets. Baby!
What a moment in downtown Winnipeg. Unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets on their 47th shot. Neil Pionk sifts one through. Adam Lowry gets the deflection. And it beats Jordan Bennington. Both goaltenders have been absolutely tremendous over the course of this game. And Winnipeg dug deep, well into the reserves to find it. They tie the game, and I thought they had the better of the chances in overtime, and finally they get one through. Jordan Bennington.
Handshakes at center ice. The Blues have played their last note in this series. The Jets struck the high note in double overtime tonight. And their captain gets the game-winning goal. Bring on the Dallas Stars sometime this week here in downtown. What a hockey game. An epic moment in this franchise's history. And playoff hockey in downtown will continue. Lots to talk about. A ton to unpack. And let the party not begin, but continue on Sunday Fun Day in downtown. The final score once again, the Winnipeg Jets 4, the St. Louis Blues 3 in double overtime. The Jets win the series 4-3. Totals of the postgame show are coming up next. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 at 680 CJOB.
You are listening to Winnipeg Jets Hockey on